Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear, driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear, like an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun, running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running low. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running low. Keep running
All right, hello everybody. I would hope that we are beautifully ready to get into things. It looks like the warm-up has just ended. I thought we were getting into the knife here, but it's not quite live yet. This is, of course, the NUEL Spring Championships. We're into our winners bracket final at the moment. It is going to be Lancaster Bombers up against Teesside University, not Assad's Taxis. Hopefully they'll change that rather soon. But I am, of course, Scriv, been bringing you all the action since the start, I do believe. Not missed a week yet. I'm not going to be here next week, sad times, but what can you do? And I am, of course, joined by my good friend Chris, who has also been here, I would say, for 90% of the games as well. Going to be bringing you some more action. How are you doing today, Chris, bro?
I am ready. I've been looking forward to this one all day, if I'm honest. I mean, these two teams are just something else, especially Lancaster. I mean, we keep singing their praises. I mean, week on week. But they are really just a joy to watch. And Teesside put in a fantastic performance last week, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the guys on that side really, step up their game, because they really need to bring something else to take it away from Lancaster, in my eyes.
Yeah, probably. I think we were talking about this kind of in the pre-game, I suppose, while we're waiting for them to get in and what have you. Should hopefully be transitioning over quickly into game and whatnot, get us off the break screen to kind of get ready for that one. But yeah, it looks like they're sort of waiting at the moment. I'm not quite sure what for, but yeah, we were talking about this beforehand, right? How if perhaps Teesside are able to keep the pressure on and keep the gas on, so to speak, then they might be able to run away with this, especially on a map like Mirage, definitely possible, which is going to be our first map here today. But Lancaster definitely have that experience, which I think is what you are inferring, and they're just a little bit more prepared for these high pressure situations, and if they get behind, it's a lot easier for them to pick themselves back up off the ground, so to speak.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing with the side of Lancaster. They know that they can ease off a little bit, and it not matter too much. I don't think they've really had, or even been threatened too much by any side so far this season. But Teesside, it came a little bit too close with comfort last week for them. So what they'll need to do is just play at full speed for 100% of the game to be able to come close to taking this one away from Lancaster. And it's, for me, not going to pan out too well unless Lancaster have probably one of the worst weeks of Counter-Strike we've probably ever seen. But that's not taking it away from Teesside, of course. They are a good team, hence why they're in the winners bracket final this week. So I can't take it away from them. They certainly deserve to be here. They put in a formidable performances throughout the rest of the season, but now's where you start to knuckle down.
Yeah, for sure. Not quite sure what's going on with this. I thought we were getting into things, but it seems they're kind of like going live, but not really live at this point in time. They're swapped over, they've done all the vetoes and stuff. So I think at this point, before we start stalling for ages and ages, if we very quickly just throw back to a break and we can get a few things sorted and find out what is going on with that. So if you just give us a few minutes, we won't be too long. We'll be back with the action momentarily, hopefully, while we just find out what the delay is. So stick with us, guys, and we'll see you soon. Right, hello everybody. So a rather quick break there, just sorting out some of the little issues and whatnot. And it would seem, just as we do that, they're also getting straight back into things. So going to be the knife round opening up here, as we will be getting into the action shortly, the main event, I suppose, for this game. But I think knife round here, Chris, is actually reasonably important. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, I completely agree. When it comes to a map like Mirage, you definitely want to be taking the CT side. See, the T side for me is the most difficult to really rack up the points and start to stretch on ahead, but we will soon find out how it will pan out, because we have seen Lancaster, I think last season, actually put in probably one of the better T side performances that you're going to see for quite some time. And I think they actually went something like, I think it was 12-3 at the half on T side.
Yes, on this very map.
Exactly, and
Situation.
so you can't really discount Lancaster at all. But obviously, yeah, T side are gonna want to stick with the CTs as expected, and we'll see how this one will pan out for either side.
Indeed, looks like the pistol round is going to get started. We're going to see a pretty conventional, obviously T-side here, picking the CT side a little bit more. That's going to get very confusing. A little bit more reliable, for sure. But Xenox on the kit, 2 flashbangs, got tops as well. Bit of aggression coming in from Vegeta here. Enigma though will take him down as he finds no one in that situation. Now Alsatian with it all to do. He's got a little bit of help from one more light. There's a bit more pressure over towards B for the CTs at the moment. A couple of kills being traded back and forth brings it into a 3-on-3 situation. We get into the final kind of minute 15 seconds. 2 quick kills from the CT side, however, will suddenly turn it into a 2-on-1. It's on to Tobbs. If there's anyone that could take this for this team, he's definitely the big name on that Lancaster side. He's got 2 to find though, and very little armor to do it with. He tags Xenox down to 2 HP, however, leaving him the 2-on-1. Going to drop him as well as he swaps back to the Glock. That's the kick down. There's still a fair amount of time for him to play around the site here and try and pick this bomb back up and get it down. He knows where Nifkin is playing from. He's just kind of got to find the head here, I suppose. But unfortunately, Nifkin will take him. Tobbs goes for the wide peak, but does get taken down in the end.
Yeah, fair play to Nifkin then. Just find the head. Heat-seeking shot straight to Tobbs' head. So, T-side taking round number 1. We'll see how they're going to set up. Interesting buy coming in from Alsatian with the scout rifle. Not sure how I feel about that one, if I'm honest, but we'll see how it works out well for him. Give it a look on the side of Lancaster, though. Nothing too spectacular there. Looks like they're going for a 3-man stack down mid. Not spotted anything just yet, but again, quite slow. Just passive play from them. We'll see what will happen from this.
Not really opting to go for any utility as well on this T side. It's very difficult to take mid control with the lack of utility, in all honesty, and they sort of just waste time over towards middle. If anything, they draw a bit more pressure from that CT side as well towards A, so maybe going towards B is a good idea here, but you've got one more life push aggressively. He's going to find Experillis and Tobbs, so we're going into a 3-on-5 situation, earning that money back on the MP7 so far. Plus that extra $300 per kill, 1,200 in total. Quick maths. There's a bit of aggression coming from the CT side in underpass. Ooh, Vegeta quite lucky to get away with his life there. Oak seemed to have that one handed to him on a bit of a platter, but not quite able to pick up the kill. So 5-on-2 situation. They're aware of where these two players are vaguely playing from. Rotate the contain coming in now from the CT side, and I think this should pretty much be another easy round on the board for T-side University.
Yeah, this is definitely just going to go T-side's way. Oh, Vegeta rips the head off of Matt as he tries to poke his way around. Vegeta gets a bit too complacent, tries to push Enigma. He will fall, but Enigma just down to 17 HP. I mean, he's just trying to pick up kills now just to make sure he can get a little bit of money back. He has picked up one more, but Nifkin will be there to shut him down, and T-side now 2-0 up. Good start from them.
going to get the economy rolling as well, you know, and it's so important, especially on that CT side. They survived with 5 players in that round. You know, well, 4 players in the end. They did lose one, but still, they keep the majority of their team alive in that situation. So they can be pretty happy with that, I think. As they get into round number 3 here, should be another easy win on the board. P250 and a Deagle is all that Lancaster have bought up. They're going to try and go for a bomb plant here, as you can see from the positioning. It's going to be the Palace Waterfall. See how this goes. I feel like they might just run into a meat grinder, in all honesty. Such a weird little setup to just cover everyone's back, so to speak, the way that they're all positioned here. It's pretty easy stuff.
Sure.
Well, it's a very slow passive play. They're going to wait until all 5 players are inside a palace, and I think they're just going to peek. Enigma hasn't been spotted just yet. Shots are being drawn out onto the B bomb site, but still nothing really happening for Lancaster. Still binding their time, making sure that they can make the correct play here, because obviously all 5 being stacked inside a palace. If they all push out, there's a lot to aim for Xenox and his team, but Alsatian managed to connect with one. That will be Matt, that will fall. Fantastic shots with the scout rifle to just take him down. 2 more players will fall. It's Nifkin with 2, and again Vegeta picks up 1 as well. A clean sweep for the side of T side, and Lancaster just brushed to one side. Beautiful work.
Again, a really good round, you know, to get that economy into a really good position here. They're able to pull out an AWP. You know, you've got a couple of players here, especially those ones that were on the SMGs, really starting to build up money. They could probably afford to lose this round and take another on the board. So, really good start from the T side so far. We'll see what they do as we get into the first rifle round here. Ooh, spotting out the lead. The mid-aggression coming in. Oak going to pick up 2 with a double spray down. Alsatian will at least bring it back into a 3-on-3 now. It's really going to come down for this T side for them finding the shots, you know, and catching out the aggression, because we've got 2 players with smokes, and that's it really. Not very much utility at all compared to that fully bought up CT side. Full mid control here though for the T's, pretty much. They've got Alsatian to deal with that wall, but they know he's in connector. Other than that, should be a reasonably easy take for the remainder of the round, you would think, if they can just kind of keep it together. You know, they've got I believe it's Matt over in Palace. He's just using his sound cues to just spot out, see if anyone's getting aggressive, figure out what positions the CTs are playing from, give it a bit of time, split the defense. You know, they immediately on the A-bomb site only have 1 player to deal with. Smoke goes over towards jungle as well, going to make it a little bit easier to eliminate Xenox on the default box position. Up close and personal with the AWP, will get taken down. Xenox now has got it all to do while he waits to rotate to come in, but Tob's going to pick up the 2 kills to secure that A-bomb site for Lancaster, and now a 2 versus 1 for one more light from the jungle position as he's trying to get in. The bomb is going to get planted. A little bit more difficult for him to gain control from this position. Will take down Experilis. Whether he's aware of Tob's playing in connector though, I mean, Tob's playing this so patiently. We're going to spot out the back end of one more light as he drops in towards Sandwich. Not quite able to connect the kill yet, but he knows exactly where he's playing from. Now kind of really planted for one more light. You can't go for the ninja, and Tobbs will take him down and save the AWP. So Lancaster very, very close to the wire, but they do manage to pick up the first gun round.
Yeah, and it was the use of what little utility they had that really won them now, because it distracted them onto the A-bomb site, and then Tobbs was able to just sneak up behind one, get the kill, nice and easy. To be fair, he was very fortunate that he whiffed that snipe, because if he'd have connected, that would have been round, set, and match. But fortunately for Tobbs, he failed, and now they are able to take 1 round away. Oh, the shot come in! Of course, you can't give that angle away to Tobbs. A man like him will punish you for even thinking about pushing his way through. Vegeta will be the first to fall. Now, let's have a little look at the setup in which Lancaster are trying to push their way through. You can see there's 2 down in mid, very aggressively pushed up. There's 2 on the one on the A-bomb site with 2 defending from T side. So far, very passive, other than the 2 pushed up. They've got Experilis and Matt, who are very high up. See what they're able to do. There is 1 player, it will be Nifkin, who's in close proximity to them. So if he can catch them out, that could very well set them on their way for T-Side to take another round. But as it stands, Nifkin actually decides to move away, and you can see 3 players pushing up through towards Connector now, and now trying to take back the A bomb site. Oh, Matt takes off the head of Alsatian with a beautiful shot. One more light tries to pick one up from Spawn, and Enigma shuts him down. Nifkin picks up one outside of jungle. Just one remaining, taking on 4 players of Lancaster. This is a lot of work. Oh, beautiful shot.
Great shot, but the mind game is there. You know, the mental game certainly is smart here from Nifkin, just trying to get away. Knows that there's a player close by, finds the shot as well, and I suppose this is kind of the best result that T-Side can hope for in this situation. Going to save that AWP going into the next round, but stringing 2 rounds together on the side of Lancaster is going to mean that they're not going to get reset. They might be able to even up this scoreline going into the next round, because that CT side economy at this point in time, not really ideal. If we can get a quick look at the scoreboard, perhaps for those on stream, but and I suppose while we're on that, I will mention we've got ourselves a kind of dedicated producer at this point in time, so that's always nice to have a bit of an extra helping hand.
Shout out to Lee.
Indeed, shout out to Lee as we are expanding. I think, if I notice, I've been watching the stream a little bit. Hopefully you can hear me and kind of sort this one out. The X-ray isn't on, and I think that's because our observer, Dr. Pi, has taken like control of that. So I think there's a setting, if you go on the scoreboard.
Oh, Pi.
I know. If you go on the scoreboard, in the bottom left, there's like a little cog, and you can go on that and then go on X-ray control and just get that back and turn X-ray back on with your little hotkey, I believe. But it's not a major issue, but it sort of does help the spectating kind of level of things, if that makes sense. But either way.
Come on, Pi, you're letting the side down here. Regardless, we're getting into the action. Bomb has been planted successfully on B without a single drop of blood shed. However, that will change very quickly. You can see. And, oh, well, actually, no, I'll tell you what, that's not going to change at all. I don't think a single bit of damage is going to be taken this entire round. They've actually decided to play way passively, and T-Side are just going to back right the way up towards T-Spawn, and that's not something I've ever seen before.
I mean, sometimes in a situation like this where everyone else is ecoing around the horde, the key, because normally you'd expect them to go for X this round like this, but I suppose the key goal of this round is to make sure that Nifkin can get away with the AWP and make sure to save that. In all honesty. So I suppose it kind of makes sense to use those USP players as like body blocking kind of thing.
It absolutely makes sense. I've just never seen it. I've always just seen teams just get aggressive, go for kills. Just shows you what kind of level I'm used to. Silvers.
Well, what can we say? But I think in this case though, everything matters. You know what I mean, and they don't want to be taking any risks. So in Lancaster now evening up that scoreline, another reset potential on the cards for them. If they win this round, you know, they could possibly get to 5-6. Just kind of depends on how T-Side, keep trying to remember which university they actually are. It seems we're not going to get a name change anytime soon.
Look, did you invest in sticky notes?
No, I have not done that. I'm trying to play it from memory. That's the mistake, isn't it?
It is, see?
From the master.
Sticky notes all the way forward. I'll give you this life hack in last season, or even maybe the start of this season, and you've not taken it on board.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
A mistake. It would seem there is an execute coming in onto the A bomb site here. I think it might have been through the smoke. Alsatian takes down Explorer. It's going to be the first kill coming across. Vegeta as well. Going to find Oak from the CT position. Xenox as well will drop Tobbs. Vegeta with another, and suddenly 1-on-5, and he will get taken down. So a clean round indeed from T-Side to take the lead back there, win themselves their first gun round, get their hands on another AWP, and survive with everyone alike. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better situation than that, in all honesty. A really, really good hold from them against, you know, the default A take that we're going to see so many times here from the T-Side players on Mirage.
Absolutely clinical stuff from T side. Really shutting them down. Fantastic work from them. Now up 4-3. You can see now Lancaster really caught off guard and now having to play this quite passively. You can see 4 AKs on the side of Lancaster, 1 pistol. Oak looking to just save what little money he has. Top's quite aggressive through mid though, again, just waiting, biding his time, waiting for the opportune moment to pounce on the opposition. However, as it stands, he's not going to see anyone in that sort of position. Obviously, there is one. Now will be that man, Alsatian, with the upper hand, watching from connector. But no, still nothing really happening. Just slow, methodical, passive.
Seem that is the order of the day so far. Again, in these tight-knit situations, as close as it is at the moment, we're into the upper echelons of the NUEL for sure, and neither of these teams want to make any mistakes. Enigma with the shoulder peek, good discipline from Vegeta to eventually take him down. Alsatian missing that shot. Allows Exprillis to get out and pick up 2, so he's going to clear out the A bomb site now. Get the smoke over towards CT. Clear out any rotations coming in. Bomb should go down momentarily. It is into a 3-on-3 thanks to that kill from Nifkin, but poor Vegeta on the edge of the smoke. He spots it out and does get the no-scope, trying to go for the quick shot onto Oak as well. Matt going to gain mid-control back. I don't think this bomb is planted for him, though. He's going to have to kind of reposition himself, and some rather low HP players on this T side through his teammate. Vegeta will find Oak. Diffuse coming in here, and like I said, it's not planted for Matt. Oh, he almost picks up the kill. One more life. Actually opts to go for the peak. Picks up the kill. Picks up another round for Assad's Taxis. T-side university.
You're gonna fall into that trap so many times today.
I know.
Can we get a counter on the screen for every time that you say Assad's Taxis instead of T-side?
Just another notch on my desk. Yeah. Make sure to put it in.
We should have like a little icon in the top right corner that pings up with it every time you say it. It'd be great fun. We'll get on to that.
It's changed for the next map. Like, it's whenever we swap maps, right? It resets it all because they can go into the like version of Ebot that we're using and change it themselves as a team. But obviously, you know, they just forget because it GoTV and well, just servers in general on CS, everything just resets every time you swap maps, which is a little bit annoying, I suppose. So it's sort of a mistake, but hopefully not going to be made again because it's really confusing, to be honest. Anyway, going to be a bit of a soft detail coming in for the T side. Double spray down from one more light. The goal here is to get the bomb down for that T side, and it looks like that's definitely what Lancaster are going to be able to do. So it's a 4-on-2. You would expect the CTs to take this one in this situation. Oh. Nice little flick shot from Vegeta. And Alsatian will take down Toms, but the ultimate goal of that round for Lancaster was getting the bomb down. They managed to do that pretty easily.
Well, mission accomplished, however. Now will be another round going across to the side of T-side. Up by 3. And what some would have said quite unexpected. However, there is still a long way to go. Obviously, they do need to reach that magical number of 16 in order to take the win, and there's still the case of them having to go across to the T side. So we'll see, you know, how that one's going to pan out for them. But right now, they've got to worry on defending, and as they do so, they're doing that just beautifully so far. However, Lancaster will surely want to try and rack up as many points on the T side as physically possible, because everyone knows the T side is definitely the hardest on Mirage.
Yeah, I think so. Like structurally, and especially for these two teams, they have a lot more kind of solid play on the CT side normally. But there is a case to be made. You know, we've seen how effective Lancaster can be on the T side if they can pull out their executes at the moment. Not really firing on all cylinders at the moment. Tops as well. And tagged down to 60 HP, by 60 HP rather, is a little bit of salt on the wound. Because he's gone for the AWP in this round, which is something that he's kind of been a little bit hit and miss with at the moment. Flash comes in for Xenox. Actually does fully blind Experilis. He's not going to go for the peak off the back of it. Just kind of playing it safe. They're going to Molotov him eventually, so he has to take this fight here. Xenox will get taken down, so now it's going to be on these Orcs to hold it down. Alsatian beats out Tobbs. Bodes well. He's going to drop Enigma as well on the edge of the smoke, as well as the bomb. So into a 4-on-3. Experilis trying to take the fight onto Nifkin will get taken down. And this is looking really good for the CT side here. For this round and also in the game. There's one more light will drop Matt, but I mean, they're looking pretty strong. You know, they looked a bit shaky after the first gun round, but suddenly, you know, they come together and it would seem have just picked it up quite strongly, and a pause coming in as you would expect it.
Yeah, they need to certainly figure a few things out. But I mean, to be fair, T-side are being clinical with their shots. Alsatian outgunning Tobbs with an AWP versus AWP. It's not something you would tend to see. Tobbs obviously being quite formidable with that AWP in hand, but Alsatian really giving him a run for his money so far. Interesting to see so far. But if we have a little look whilst we're on the break at the scores as it stands. So obviously we've got T-side 7-3 up over the Lancaster Bombers. Top fragger so far is Vegeta. Has 13 to his name. On the other side of Lancaster we've got Tobbs with 6. It's just really quite interesting that very low numbers coming in so far, but obviously T-side have been quite formidable thus far.
Yeah, it's looking good. I mean, it's difficult to kind of read into what's going wrong right now. It just seems, you know, everyone's trying to take a bit of a 1v1 on both sides, and T-side are winning them out. You know, a lot of these rounds not coming down to clutches or kind of double spray downs or anything like that, individual plays. It's just kind of everybody on that T-side side of things is just a hell of a lot stronger at the moment and really hitting their shots, like you say. So, and the double up setup, they just don't seem to be able to get past at the moment. You know, Alsatian hitting some nice shots, Vegeta hits some really nice shots, and it's very, very difficult if you can't get past that initial defense of the Orcs. You can't, you know, kind of smoke them out or be ready for them to push smokes. It's very, very difficult indeed for any side if you're getting locked out of a game. So it's kind of now something that perhaps we haven't seen very often from Lancaster. What do they do while they're on the back foot? I mean, for those of you that follow the university scene quite well, you'll know that in King of the North, Lancaster actually lost this weekend to Warwick. So, you know, it might be in their heads a little bit that perhaps their throne of the UK national scene is kind of falling from them, slipping from them, you know. But either way, Unpause coming in here, so we'll see. Should be another round on the board, I would imagine, for T-side. Not a very strong buy from Lancaster. Again, just another round where they want to try and get the bomb down. But when we get into our next gun round, I think they're going to need to take it. The next gun round, Lancaster are going to need it, and they're going to need to get a few more on the board as well to get to maybe 5-6 kind of scoreline. Vegeta drops 2 towards middle, definitely not looking good. I think it was going to be a B split coming in, but him picking up those 2 early kills really makes it difficult. He's missing like hell at the moment, though, so they're going to be able to make it up short, perhaps. That info is going to come in. It now kind of relies on these B-side players to hold it down. Alsatian already on the rotate. We'll pick up 1. Nifkin in-house. Also gets Enigma. Matt, hello. Going to find 2 of the Deagle, though. Vegeta as well is only on 9 HP, so this is definitely doable. And you've got Xenox, who's still kind of staying on that A-bomb site as the hard anchor. Passing that up. Can get his hands on the bomb here. So Matt may well be able to get the bomb down quite easily. He's going to go for the aggressive fight. Also finds Alsatian, but Vegeta is ready for the repeak. And I was feeling it for a second there. And, that was a very nice round from Mr. Matt, but unfortunately not quite able to win it out. Just a few too many players to take down.
Oh, you got him. You got him.
Yeah, way too many hurdles for him to leap over. To be fair, he made it that far, and that took me by surprise. Regardless, T-side now 8-3 up. I mean, Vegeta beautiful shots coming in from him to open things up. Obviously, him missing those 2 shots as they pushed down through mid was quite unfortunate, but still, they managed to take the ground on the board, but they do manage to lose quite a bit of economy due to the fact that Matt being so deadly with the dig in hand. As you can see, Lancaster now have a bit more to buy with. Xenox picks up 1. He's able to pick up a second as he turns around to the corner. Nigel and Oak trade out, however, to make this one a 3 versus 3. Bomb goes down. We'll see how the side of Lancaster are now going to set up in order to hold this down. Shots have been fired. Vegeta takes down Experitus. Vegeta just isn't going to miss when he's given those sorts of opportunities. 2 versus 3. A lot of work to do. One more light gets aggressive, pushes on, but gets taken down. Vegeta once again connects. He tries to challenge Enigma, but Enigma takes the head straight off of him, and then Alsatian left in a 1 versus 1. Open hand. Misses the flick. Tries to go for it again. Chokes it. And now we'll have to back away for his life to hold on to the orb.
Great round in the end there from Enigma to play the bomb. So very smart. Kind of movement from him, you know, and hitting his shots as well. Everything you could have asked for in the clutch situation there. So going to get the 4th on the board now. A rather important round for Lancaster to not get reset here, but really good post-plant positions. You know, they play it quite well. It was still, you know, it was that 3 versus 2 situation and very quickly into a 2-on-1 in favor of T-side, but Enigma just playing the bomb so beautifully. And that's kind of the experience coming in. You see both sides of it. Yes, T-side are hitting their shots and playing very well indeed, but when it comes down to those clutch situations, you know, Enigma is able to keep it together, whereas I think, was it Vegeta in that situation? No, Alsatian, I believe. He dropped his AWP or something, kind of messing around, not quite sure, and missing his shots towards the end, where perhaps he may have hit them normally. You know, so the pressure kind of getting to him a little bit there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not something you really want to do in such a situation, is to drop your AWP like that, but it's okay. They're still up by 4 rounds. If you're a T-side fan, it's okay. You've still got a bit of a cushion to work on. See now as Matt from Lancaster pushes his way through. Does take a little bit of damage, not much though, but will back away. Doesn't want to give too much away for his side. The information has been gathered, and you can see the 3 players on the side of T-side are now set up on this A side, watching every possible angle. The utility will come into play here. Experitus will take down Xenox with a lovely headshot, but it's traded out immediately by Nifkin. Just gets the spray down onto Oak. Alsatian is able to snipe out Tobbs, and the fire comes in from Matt, who takes out Nifkin in the end, and shots are being fired through the smoke. Nothing connecting just yet. We'll see what Vegeta is able to do. We know he doesn't like to miss when he's given these opportunities, and he'll surely get shut off soon enough. Vegeta again connects, takes down Matt. Enigma trades out with 1 more life, but Alsatian picks up the final player on the site, and again, T-side take another round.
Yeah, they get this advantage early on, and then are just able to play off of that. You know, like you say, give them the opportunities and they'll definitely hit the shots and win the retakes. There haven't been too many clutch situations where they end up losing it out because they're just able to bounce off of each other so very well. You know, and Nifkin, it has to be said, holding from triple there, picks up 2 kills, definitely does his work for the round, stays alive for a considerable amount of time, going to allow those rotates to come in, which is all how you want to play that CT side defense. So really, really well done from him. And the AWPs are just playing such a big part right now for T-side. I mean, Lancaster are just not able to shut them down at all at this point in time. And it's looking really, really difficult for them there going into the CT side of things. It's going to be a pretty much full eco, just a few upgraded pistols. So it should be a 10th round on the board pretty easily for T-side. A lot of damage done onto Vegeta in all fairness. But the first kill goes the way of Xenox, so should be good for them. Alsatian gets a second as well. And now into a 5-on-3 situation. They're aware that they're all playing towards middle. And maybe, you know, able to contain this quite easily. I mean, this is something that we talk about sometimes, how difficult it is to take middle control and Mirage without utility. And you see teams going middle on these anti-eco rounds, well, force buy rounds, I suppose, from them. And just not able to do anything. They don't have any utility. They're just running like headless chickens. I mean, if you're able to hit 3 quick headshots in a row, then perhaps yes, but that's not like reliable to have players do that with the Deagle when you've got one from short, one from mid, and one from connector to deal with, and you've got no utility to kind of get rid of any of those positions. And you can see it here in this round. It's one of those things, as someone who's passionate about CS and watching good CS, it kind of triggers me a little bit that teams just throw away rounds like this by trying to take mid control with no utility. Somehow, though, they get the connector, so that's a little bit of a display perhaps from the CT side. Xenox, though, will make up for it. Plots them out, drops the bomb. There's only 9 seconds remaining. Oak will take down one more life, but a bit of a consolation kill at this point. That CT side economy should be good enough going forward to pick up another M4A1S. But a 10th round, importantly, on the board for T-side is now, I think Lancaster need this round, otherwise they're going to have their backs firmly against the wall on the CT side.
Yeah, they can't really make a mistake in the second half, but we'll see how they see out the first. Just going balls to the wall would be the idea, and I hope to take one back. 10-4 down currently, and it looks like they want to go for a B push up through amps. Maybe not. Tell a lie, they want to rotate right the way back around. Just throwing caution into the wind. No idea what they're doing.
I mean, this is one of the things to go off, right? If they look this kind of lost and unsure of what they want to do, and all they have here to go on is to just fall back into a default, a default execute, I suppose, and it's not really that difficult to read at this point in time from T-side, as they've expected it quite a bit, and have played against it quite a bit, so they know what to expect.
Well, they're going to need to use this utility to push their way through, in which they do. They smoke up the top. However, shots have been fired. Xenox and Nifkin will combine to take down one. Make that 2 as Xenox takes out Oak and Experilis. Tobbs takes down 2 as he pushes his way through, though, and now has been stunned. We'll have to wait a little longer before he can push his way up. Just him and Matt left alone versus Vegeta, one more light, and Alsatian. Vegeta obviously with the open hand, still at CT start, waiting for anyone to push their way down. However, he has narrowly missed both of those players from Lancaster, and with 30 seconds left on the clock, really you'd expect Lancaster just to go straight for this A site, throw caution to the wind, because it's now or never.
A little bit of patience from them. We'll draw one rotate towards B. However, that flash going to hit Matt instead of going across towards the stairs. Alsatian finds the shot. There's only 7 seconds remaining. Just wants to wait patiently. Tobbs will spray him down, but not able to get the bomb down, as Vegeta is there immediately to strike back. So an 11-4 half from T-side. Definitely not what we were expecting. You know, like you say, it was a little bit difficult for them last week to take the victory. And they come in here up against the champions of last season, and one of the, you know, dangerous teams going into this season. Some really one-sided affairs from them earlier on. You know, to make it here, they had a week where they didn't have to play because they'd won so many games and gotten through and whatnot. So we really were not expecting this close of a showing. So we'll see what Lancaster have got on the CT side. I would say it is definitely their strong suit as a team, but still, I mean, this is a monumentous hill to climb, and I think it goes without saying, Chris, they need the pistol.
Absolutely, they need to get off to a flying start on this half. They need to take the pistol round to open things up. As it stands, slow from the side of T side. Well, I say that they've now just got very aggressive onto the A side, looking for the initial take. Matt will be the first and closest who will fall to open things up. Experilis and Tobbs combining to take down Xenox and Alsatian, but Vegeta takes one back with finding the head of Experilis. Lovely shot from Vegeta to take down Oak as well, and now Enigma and Tobbs left all alone. See what Tobbs is able to do. Is he able to take down a little bit of the damage onto Nifkin? But oh my god, Enigma's got around the back. He's taking down Nifkin and Vegeta. Just him taking on one more light now. See what he's able to do. Rushes onto the site. Does he have the time? Oh, he has the process behind him, goes for the shots. Is he going to get the kill? He does, but I don't think there's enough time for him to get the defuse. He doesn't have a kit in hand. And first round to T-side.
Indeed. It would seem a pause is going to be coming in here. I don't think you guys can see that on the chat, but apparently there's a little bit of server issues going on. at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. And this pause is actually being called by T-side at this point in time, so it's not like, I know there will be people in the chat accusing Lancaster of trying to get a new server because they're so far down or whatever, but that's not the case, or the players at this point. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult at this point in time because T-side taking that pistol, they're going to have the economy going forward, could quite easily make it 13, 14 rounds on the board for them if they win, you know, the anti-eco, anti-force buy conversion rounds, as we call them, after winning that pistol. And looking really, really strong. You know, they're just keeping the pressure on, keeping that speed, aggression, momentum that Lancaster are just not able to deal with.
Well, they've gone for a pause, and I actually think this one coming in from T side. I think they're now just trying to compose themselves, and they're waiting for the server to calm down. Just waiting to see if the server would sort its life out. Okay, well apparently they're having a few server issues despite being up by 8 rounds. But it looks like they're ready to get things back underway, and now Lancaster have a real mountain to climb. They have to win so many to get back into this, because if they let it slip for 1 round, that gives so much more advantage to the side of T-side.
Yeah, I mean, a case to be made here that they kind of need to win the force buy round that they've got coming out, in all honesty. You know, and we say how important it is a lot of the time when you're on this comeback, that you not only need to be winning rounds, but you need to be winning them decisively. It's a little bit of a broken record for me at this point in time, because it seems we have a lot of comeback potential games that go on, but it is a really important case because, you know, not only do you need to be evening up the scoreline, you also need to make sure you've got money going forward to have the best buy possible. And that can be very difficult if you don't keep everyone alive. A good opener from Experilis going to make it possible as he takes down one more light. He was that lurker over towards B, but it does seem that T-side want to go towards B as a whole, which could very well be a mistake indeed. It does depend on how they play this. Again, the pressure getting to Lancaster, they're rotating players back towards A now, and the kind of overthinking aspect gets to them a little bit, perhaps. Still 2 players to deal with, and Experilis very up close and personal with this CZ. One of the strongest weapons in the game, pistols. He's going to find Xenox. Might be able to get away here, gets the reload off, but Vegeta will finish it. So it's going to be a 3-on-3. Tom's not able to find any heads as of yet. Be able to cross and get that bomb down on the T side of things, but it's going to come down to hitting the shots really, because there's not much utility on either side. CT side as well, it has to be mentioned, no kit for them, so they really don't have very much time to go through with this one. Tobbs leading the way with the Deagle. Molotov going to push him out of position for sure. There are 2 over towards bench. Molotov's going to spread to him. Matt, however, and Enigma will pick up kills for their team. It's now left on Vegeta. His position is known by Enigma as he takes down Matt. Left on 44 HP. Enigma needs to find the head here, and he needs to find it quick. There's not very much time left. He can't even connect a single bullet. Vegeta will take him down. So a little bit closer to the wire. You would normally say a very good force buy round coming out from Lancaster, but because there are so many rounds down here, I feel like they needed to win that one out.
Yeah, they absolutely had to win that one just to get a bit more stability, to be able to see things out going forward. But so far T-side's doing a very, very good job of just thwarting anything that Lancaster starts throwing at them. Doing a very good job of being on the T-side as well. And look at this. This is so aggressive coming in from them, going 2 mid and 2 straight the way up through the underpass. And I'm actually able to see one player in just a second. Oh, I tell you what, he got very fortunate as Matt crossed back across the A bomb site. Alsatian actually was just caught unaware, not looking through towards Connect. If he had, he would have seen him and called that out. However, one player inside of window has now fallen. That will be Tobbs. That will get taken down. Enigma trying to pick up these 2 players just inside of mid, just to make things even once again, but not happening just yet for Lancaster. They're having an absolute nightmare.
Indeed they are. I mean, they kind of have to eco this round out here. You know, you don't want to force buy yourself into oblivion, and a little bit more difficult for them at this point in time. You know, it's kind of, how do you come back from this? They have seemed lost, which is something that we don't normally say about this side. They always seem on top of things, but we did say at the start of the game, you know, if T-Side were able to play their own game and not really care about how Lancaster were going to try and anti-strat them or whatever the case may be that they counter.
Oh no.
T-Side, you know, they could definitely have taken it. And I mean, Matt missing those shots is kind of the final nail in the coffin. Going to be 14-4 in favour of T-Side going into the first gun round of the second half. And, well, if it's going to be anything like that T-Side that Lancaster had, it's going to be very, very hard indeed to kind of get a foot in the door. And you know, they're seriously going to have their backs against the wall. Can't afford to lose a single round, honestly, at this point in time going forward. And that, for any caliber of team, is a very difficult task indeed. So, it remains to be seen. I think Tobbs has got money for the AWP. He is going to immediately buy that up, which is fair enough. And so the rest of the utility for the team might not be as good as they would like. No kit, so it's going to come down to kind of those initial kills that you generally expect in this sort of situation for the CT side. And a lot of this, I think, is going to be riding off Tobbs. Looks like we're going to have some mid-aggression coming out from the CTs. They are prepared for this, however, on the T side of things. 2 CT players, I believe it will be Matt and Oak, pushing up pretty aggressively indeed. But like I say, those T side Ts are just holding back. Tobbs will drop Alsatian towards underpass. So a good initial frag for Lancaster. They now just kind of need to hold on to that man advantage. Matt's position is known. He's sort of trapped in between a rock and a hard place. So Martov comes in, will push him out of position, and he will get taken down. So evened in to a 4-on-4 now. There's a minute 15 seconds or thereabouts remaining on the clock. Lancaster's still in good stead to take this round, but T-side really, they kind of do control everything here. They've secured a little bit of mid control, and they've definitely weakened that A-bomb site defense, as there's only Enigma towards CT there. So if they can choose correctly, they could have a very easy time getting onto a bomb site, get themselves into some very good post-plan positions indeed.
Well, the information that was gained from T-side, we've taken down 1 player. Still 4 remaining, however. What's been quite a passive play from the side of T-side. Don't want to make any mistakes right now because they can be punished for them going forward. But at the same point, neither do Lancaster. See Matt making 1 mistake, pushing so aggressively up through mid, has been taken down. And now you can see that T-side look to go towards A. 13 seconds left, and they're going to use the utility to try and clear a path on their way through. Vegeta gets taken down by Tobbs. Lovely shot coming in as he peeks his way out. Tobbs picks up a second with the open hand. 1 more light though. Trades out and takes down Enigma, and Lancaster do get one on the board due to the fact that T-side just couldn't plan.
Time run out. I mean, a little bit of a mess there in the end from T-side. This is kind of something they can afford to do at the moment, but mistakes like that, get them out of the way early, not when it, you know, is like 14-13 or whatever on the epic potential comeback. I mean, it's difficult ultimately for T-side to do anything in that situation. Tobbs is just hitting his shots, and that initial pressure and confidence kind of gained from Lancaster with the early kill definitely boded well in that round. It remains to be seen now if they're able to keep this kind of win streak going, string together some rounds, make sure not to get resets. I think that'll pretty much be game over. And you know, start the mini comeback. You kind of have to take it a round at a time and play it as you would if it were 14-14, like I say, or you know, 14-1. You have to play it all the same. Just kind of start as you wish to go on, I suppose, as the saying goes.
Exactly. Step by step, round by round. And so far, Lancaster have taken their first by taking last round, and the stands trying to take their second. Enigma takes a little bit of damage from the Molotov, but not enough to cause him any sort of worry. Again, a very passive play from the side of T-side. Very indecisive. Not quite sure what to do just yet. Now they've made a decision. They want to go for B. However, the shots have been fired. Vegeta's taken a bit of damage. That will come down from Experius. He has taken down Vegeta now with a beautiful headshot. Sees the second ahead of him. Goes for the spray down. Gets the connect onto Nifkin, but gets traded out by Alsatian. Tobbs is able to trade that kill out. And then Xenox takes up one for himself. But he is in a 3 versus 1 situation with a lot of work to do. He does get the bomb down, which is good. That gives him a bit more money to work with. However, gets taken down by Enigma as he tries to peek his way through towards Arches, and Lancaster take their second step on this long road back to try and win this map.
Pretty good retake from them in the end there as well. Really good initial hold from Experilis on the site itself. You know, and really well played. I think very early on at the moment in this kind of comeback, actually on the side of T-side, you can sort of see from their body language and the way that they're taking rounds so passively and so carefully that they have it in their head. They just need 2 more rounds. You know, you don't want a round where you make any mistakes. You don't want to mess up anywhere, and that may get to them kind of in the mental game. Smoke going in towards window doesn't actually land, but the 2 smokes on short, by that indeed allows them to get up short. But well then, Enigma and Oak with the Molotovs, AKs, M4s. They run straight into a meat grinder on the T side of things and not going to be able to get anything done in this round, really. Now all we can hope for, if you're a T-side fan, is Nifkin picks up a kill, and he will. Takes down Enigma. Now he's got to get his hands on the bomb. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. It looks like he's trying to move towards saving that AK, perhaps. But a nice strat from T-side, unfortunately, doesn't work out. They're just not quite able to make it through the Molotov, essentially.
Yeah, it was much more orchestrated from the side of Lancaster. Really working well as a unit there to just thwart the oncoming attack from the T side. And again, they've taken their 3rd step towards victory. But we're still for the long old journey to go. Again, they cannot make really a single mistake or they will get punished. You can see T side still have a very good buy. 5 AKs and near on full utility as well, so we'll see how they're going to utilize that to push their way onto a bomb site. I think the way they're stacking up, they're going to go for an A, but then again, we have seen it where they stack onto one bomb site, make a mistake, and then just switch straight away across to the other. But as it stands, one more light will toss over a smoke to try and clear off any sort of line of sight that Matt will have. Enigma has taken a bit of damage already, and Tobbs has no sight at all. He has been shut out completely by the smoke, and the bomb has now been planted.
Definitely one of the easier bomb sites to retake, though, as a CT in all fairness. So, still got all 5 players remaining. A lot of damage being done onto quite a few of these players, however. Coming in for the CT side, and that's all that matters at this point. 3, making a 2-on-5 situation. The bomb not planted for these remaining 2 players. Vegeta will take down Oak. Alsatian picks up Experilis. Vegeta getting himself a second, but the bomb is being held here. Matt going to get the defuse in any second now, and Vegeta gets himself a 3k for the round. Not quite able to connect with the 4th. Just to rub salt in the wound there, but Lancaster take the round off the back of the plant. You know, maybe with all that control that they had on the T side of things, if they'd have just kind of gone for a bit more of an open plant, could have been a round going their way. But the benefit of hindsight, of course, is 2020. But T side now starting to look a little bit ropey as they go for another soft eco round. Vegeta's going to have his hands on a Galil somehow. I think that was dropped across from another player, but really good opportunity in these kind of accumulator rounds for Lancaster to be earning some money, putting it on the board. Their money's not really ideal here on the scoreboard. I mean, there's one player, Matt, who's above 3,000. Everybody else is below 2,000 at this point in time, so not ideal from them. They definitely want a bit more money going forward on this comeback situation.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, ideally as well, they would have wanted to have taken that round much cleaner than having Vegeta take up 3 within the last 5 to 10 seconds. But regardless, again, they take another round, clawing their way back out of such a difficult position, but doing so with grace so far. Still down by 6, but they are forcing T-side into a very difficult position.
Oh no. They're going to go
This
for
is
the
gonna be
boost or
close.
window. It doesn't look like it. Hobbs is not.
Oh!
Pick up the kill. Enigma as well. Going to pick up 2 himself. Left on 4 HP, but dropped that bomb. The light looks like he's about to go down. Also, you've got Vegeta with the Galil Plant. Actually picks up 2 there. Not quite able to connect onto the 3rd, but still keeping that economic pressure on. Making sure you've got a couple players on the enemy team buying up really does bode well. And look at the money, to be fair, for T-side. A really good eco round coming in. Allows them, all of them, to get full buys here and possibly even an AWP out if they so choose. I believe they will indeed. Alsatian, a bit of a trade-off with Xenox. So they're going to have an AWP to battle up against Tobbs. On the T side of things, he did look a little bit lost with that.
Oh,
Big
no.
gun, classically. Oh, no, no, no.
You hate to see
Messing up
that.
that Molotov. You do. You really hate to see that. Just as we start talking about how he looked a bit lost, and I was about to say, now he seems to have found himself on the CT side, but it would appear not. It would appear he still can't even line up grenades at this point in time. But either way, will get taken down in middle as well by Alsatian. A little bit tilted, perhaps. Enigma finds a couple with the help of Matt and the Molotovs, actually. Back into a 3-on-3. Side control pretty much secured for the T side here. They've got to get this bomb down. One player over towards middle. Difficult to get that bomb down. So going to drop Experilis. And also finds Matt, who tries to fire the bomb plant. Now it's all on Oak, and he's left on 17 HP. They know exactly where he's playing from. This might just be the round the T side needed to get themselves the victory, because that CT side economy is not really ideal going forward either. They will be able to buy next round, but not in a position where they would want to be, and Oak will get taken down by Vegeta in the end. So finally, T-side get that 15th on the board. Like I say, look at that money. We've got Tobbs on 6k, so he'll be able to get the AWP out perhaps, but maybe in this case you might have to sacrifice doing so to drop a gun across. You've got Enigma and Oak with very little money indeed. They're going to be on just a couple of pistols. Tobbs does actually go for the AWP. So a chance perhaps if he's able to come alive, but still this ask now is even harder. 6 rounds in a row, cannot lose a single one. Got to win them decisively, otherwise it's going to be very difficult. Ooh, Tobbs not spotting out player towards top middle, the X-ray giving us the advantage there, as I believe it's back up on the stream and everything, so that's cool. But yeah, Lancaster really need to take this one.
Well, not a good start from them. Enigma has taken 48 damage already, but side of T-side using utility very well to clear off any line of sight. They actually have pushed up very aggressive through mid. One has fallen, but has been traded out. Matt for Alsatian, able to trade out nicely there. 4 players remaining on either side. I take that back because Experilis has taken down Nifkin. Not what you would expect in such a situation like this, but it may just be T-side getting a bit too complacent. Still 3 versus 4. Vegeta in a interesting position up on the rail, waiting to see anyone pushing into the window, but nobody's going to be there for him. Gets aggressive himself and decides to try and take this back. Interesting to see what they're going to go for here, because if you obviously we've got the vision of the minimap in the top left. You can see that basically there's a 3-man stack onto the A bomb site. They're going to go for it anyway. Shots have been fired. Enigma will first to take out one player with 1 more light. Does get traded out immediately. Vegeta comes in, takes down Matt, but Matt trades that one out. Experilis to take down Alsatian with the bomb being planted. Lancaster will take this round and go 15-10 down, but it's a miraculous comeback thus far.
It is indeed. It's been some pretty decisive rounds as well from them. Coming in, you know, a really good retake there on the A bomb site. Did really well to get those 2 initial frags, and they were on a weaker buy. You know, that's certainly a situation you wouldn't expect them to take that round so easily, but they do in the end there. And now we've got the double up setup coming in as well, looking very, very formidable going forward. Still a buy on T side, or from T side. Depends on which way you want to look at the T side. Alsatian finds Experilis. A bit of a shame that we missed that. I believe that would have been through the little lip on the balcony as he was jumping across. So a very nice shot indeed. brings it into a 5-on-4 very early on. That's going to be one of those AWPs dropped on the C2C side of things as well. So not only have they lost that pressure, they've also lost one of their stronger weapons going forwards. So going to be difficult for them to recover. The defense is split. Mid control given over towards the T side. They'll soon figure this out. He's losing that player on B. Had to draw another one from middle towards B to deal with a possible, kind of burst onto the B bomb site. So looking good for the T side. Take this one 16-10. Perhaps, but it all remains to be seen. A bit of an A stack coming in again. Might not be what the doctor ordered, however, as the bomb making its way towards B. Apps, 2 or 3 players going to go up short as well. Looks like it's going to be B. I think that smoke's got it. It's not quite good enough, though. Enigma's able to peek around it and pick up a kill. So evens up the scoreline back into a 4-on-4. They're going to be aware of his positioning. He's going to hear these players running up short, surely. Calder rotates across. Still a lurker in the hand of Xenox, but you got Tobbs with the AWP. He drops one as well as the bomb. Now he's aware of a second player being up close and personal. The lurker, meanwhile, has been taken down. So it's into a 3-on-2 for the T side here. Tobbs missing the shot, finds the no-scope onto one more light, though. And now it's all on Vegeta to get it done. Will drop Oak. Not quite able to finish it off, though. He does take down Tobbs. As I think Tobbs hit the no-scope there. But through the wall, it didn't do very much damage at all, and he will eventually get taken down. Enigma just keeping his team in it. And a beautiful round from Tobbs, of course, with the AWP to hold down that B bomb site.
Was a bit too close for comfort, really.
Yeah.
Lancaster clinging on for dear life now. Cannot lose this round. And that will be map number 1 going to T side. What some would class as a bit of an upset. However, T side have been putting in one hell of a shift so far this map. Just 1 round away from victory in map number 1 of this best of 3 series. As it stands, I'm wanting to just play things slow so far. Don't want to give too much away. Obviously, they have very little in the way of anything to buy. So, yeah. I don't think they want to just give this to Lancaster, because then it gives them a much better footing going forward. And then, allows them to climb their way back from what was the deep, dark depths of hell.
Indeed. I mean, this is a round here where, again, just on the weaker buy, but they need to get this bomb down to make it worthwhile. Experilis is going to be making money, though. Picks up 3. He's going to get a 4th. Oak gets the final kill, but Experilis is going to love that. $1,800 in the bank. Talk about that economy going forward, and I mean, that's really, really looking good for Experilis' personal economy, at least. And unfortunately not able to get the bomb down there. They are going to be able to pull out a buy here on the T side of things, but a key round. Obviously Lancaster can't lose this one, otherwise they lose the entire map. But if they win this one, T side economy is not going to be great. It does depend on how it goes. Maybe they save, maybe they plant the bomb. It's all very contextual, but if it's a clean win for Lancaster, it could well be an overtime on the cards. Up in the hands of Tobbs, as he knows Alsatian is often a bit of a menace towards middle. Peeking a bit early before that smoke goes down will allow Tobbs to get the kill. He's going to drop back as well, relatively unpunished. So a very early kill for the CT side. Things Xenox jumping the gun a little bit early, perhaps. So he will give his position away and not pick up the kill. So now it does look very good for Lancaster. They've got a bit of information. Seems like there's a bit more pressure over towards A. They've also picked up that initial kill, as I mentioned. Execute going to come in from T side. They're going to try and drop in with these smokes. I think one of them messed up, though. It's not going to be a smoke going over towards jungle. So that leaves that open for Enigma. Xenox will take down Matt. Enigma, however, with the double spray down, going to find 2. So now it's just left Vegeta and Xenox to take this round. Tobbs drops Xenox with the CZ, and Enigma will find Vegeta. And suddenly this is looking dangerous for the T side. They only needed 2 rounds on their terrorist side of Mirage. Lancaster are making it very, very difficult indeed. I think this is going to be a full eco coming in from T side, so it's going to come right down to the wire. It could be a 16-14 victory for T side, or a 15-15 overtime, and an incredible comeback for Lancaster. It all remains to be seen.
Oh dear. Well, it was going to be a good start, and then Enigma choked the smoke, but yeah, they've got quite a bit of utility to work with regardless. Now you can see that T side are stacked inside of Palace. They have 2 up in the arch just outside. And they push their way through. Spray down comes down from Matt. He's able to pick up 1. Not able to take down a second, but Enigma takes down 2. So with 1 more light and Vegeta, that ties things up a little bit even. But then another spray down comes in. Vegeta gets out behind Tobbs. He's able to take down him, but gets taken out immediately by Oak. And 1 more light is left on 12 HP with no hope in hell as he gets taken down. And Lancaster are now just 1 round away from tying things up and going to overtime. Who would have thunk it?
I mean, after a half that T-side had on their CT side, I don't think many people would have thunk it, but looking really, really good for them at this point in time. So this as well, it must be pointed out, is the pick of Lancaster. So maybe they were putting all their cards, you know, all their chips, I suppose, on the CT side of things. And then our second map will be Cash, which we will definitely be playing. That's the pick of T side, and then Inferno, of course. Classic CS will be our decider. Either way, getting into the final round of regulation here on Mirage. Could well go to overtime, but it could also go the 16-14 in favour of T-side. You can't write off any team at the moment. They've both been playing incredibly well so far over the course of the evening. They've both got reasonably good buys as well coming out. Tobbs has got his hands on the AWP. That's his comfort pick where he wants to be. Mid control has been secured for the T side here, but no one wants to make any mistakes on either side at this point in time. Molotov goes into connector as Enigma is aware of the fact that he might just have lost control, but it's not quite going to reach Vegeta, I don't think. So he's able to get away with that one. Enigma needs to be careful with how he plays this next few seconds, whether he goes in for the aggressive peak or just takes it nice and passive. It looks like he's just going to sit, pre-aim this angle, and wait for the ever-trusty execute to come in from T-side as they are lining up these smokes and flashbangs. Going to come raining down in just a second, and this will be where we see what these two teams are made of. Enigma will pick up the final kill onto Vegeta in connector, bring it into a 5-on-4 as there's only 30 seconds remaining. CT not being smoked out here, so Matt able to pick up another. Enigma as well going to drop 1 more light. Now it's just on Nifkin and Alsatian to keep it all together. Only 20 seconds. Bomb has not yet been planted. 4-on-2 situation as the bomb will just start to go down. I mean, CT side at this point, they're not afraid to give that away. It was actually a fake, so this well could be cancelled out by the CTs now, and it will. 6 seconds remaining. This is not possible for Alsatian. Doesn't even pick up the first kill, and it will be overtime. Lancaster with an incredible comeback on their CT side. After losing the pistol, they still are able to pull it back to 15-15. I think that's absolutely incredible.
I mean, this is exactly why Lancaster are the top team in the NUEL as it stands right now. Because of plays like this. If you would have seen that joining us at the half, you see T-side up by 13, was it 13-4, 13-5? It was, yeah, it wasn't that high.
13-4, I think it was 13. Just after the half, because they...
Yeah. But you would never have thought that, you know, Lancaster could come back into this in such a way where they'd only end up losing 2 rounds and then tie it back up to go into the overtime. Unbelievable stuff.
The extra kind of mental game here is they're all firing on all cylinders on this Lancaster side. They also get the opening pick here in the first round of overtime. But Vegeta, as you can see, you know, just briefly from the scoreboard that was up a few seconds ago, Vegeta's 38 kills up in regulation. That's absolutely incredible, and the fact that he doesn't take the game off the back of that is somewhat shocking. Tobbs going to get a second as well, able to drop the bomb. 1 more like burnt up. Will get taken down by Oak as the classic crossfire coming out on B, but not really needed, as it would be the rest of the team. The rotators doing all the work at this point in time. Alsatian was over towards short. He's in the 1 versus 5 situation. They're going to hear him out. Takes down Oak. They don't want to feed him too many kills in the situation. He's going to find Enigma as well. And now with 30 seconds remaining, still doable, but you cannot miss a shot here on the side of Alsatian. I think now that they've lost 2 players, the CT side can start to calm it down, and Tobbs with a bit of an off angle will take him down. So the first round of overtime going the way of Lancaster. Has to be pointed out, like, in the past 16 rounds, T-side have won 1.
Wow.
Since, well, no, in the past, not entire 16, in the past, like, 13 rounds, T-side have won 1. Because they won the pistol, got those conversion rounds, and then won 1 rifle round subsequent to it. So, incredible stuff from Lancaster to only let that 1 round slip. And it does seem on the, the CT side of things, these two teams are just incredible. Look a little bit lost on the T side, but it seems T side is the worse off of the two. Either way, making their way over towards the A bomb side now, leaving CT open yet again. One more light, not quite able to find a kill, but Matt gets immediately traded back. Tobbs as well has got to be careful here. He misses the flick and Nifkin will take him down. So bomb has gone down now as we're into a 3-on-3 retake. Making a 2-on-2 as a few quick trades come in. Xenox on the AWP hit. Might not have anything to do as Alsatian has picked up 1. Now it's just Experilis in the 1-on-2. Seems to have a bit of an idea of where they're playing from. No smoke to go for the Ninja. Just going to need to bait it out, find the shots. He's going to go for the tap, wait for Xenox to peek in just a second. But Xenox hits the shot, takes him down to the round. Goes back the way of T-side. Not going to be an entirely one-sided affair. They've come alive here. A little bit more money on the board for them. A little bit more kind of confidence going forwards that they have this overtime, space to pick up a few more rounds. And perhaps now they will come alive on this T side. Better late than never, I suppose.
That's a big if, really, because there's still a lot of work to do. Lancaster, again, incredible half from them to take it to overtime, and now look to see this out. But passive play coming in from the T side. Don't want to give too much information away to open things up. You can see Xenox with the AWP, and Tobbs obviously AWPing on his side. Shots have been fired. That's a bit of information given, as shots have been fired from pads. I believe that is Xenox up in there, and the smokes have now come down, and that's blocked off vision. They're pushing their way through. Oh, Enigma's found 2. He's found his Alsatian and finds the head of one more light as he pokes his way around the corner. Goes for the spray down for the player inside of Palace, but Vegeta will poke him from behind, and Tobbs will punish Nifkin in the end. Vegeta and Xenox left in a 2 versus 3 with a lot of work to do.
Bomb in the hands of Vegeta as well, so they can have this option to go towards B if they so wish. They've got time to do so as well, and it looks like, judging by his body language, that is in fact what Vegeta is going to do. Perhaps? I'm not quite sure. Maybe he's trying to overthink things and see if the CTs are going to rotate back. It's all going to come onto Xenox. That smoke has dissipated over towards jungle. As he fires that shot, Tobbs will peek out and take him out. So now it's all on Vegeta. He's spotted by Experilis. Will actually go down. Experilis slightly misreading the situation perhaps, but still a 2-on-1. Still going to get this bomb down as well on the hands of Vegeta. Peeking to come in from Matt and deny it. So that's the first half of overtime. It goes 17-16. So it's still all to play for at this point in time. And, Lancaster had a really good CT side, of course. But then so did T-side. It was so long ago, but they put up 11 rounds on their own CT side. So, of course, the way that this works here in overtime, you go to 18 rounds, you've secured a second overtime, you get 19, however, and you will take the game in this situation. So we've not had too many overtimes in the NUEL. I think we had one last week. But since then, we've not quite... Well, previous to that, I suppose, rather, we've not really had any overtime. So it's nice to have a bit of exciting CS in our first map of the Rapid Grand Final.
Oh, dear.
Absolute meat grind coming in. Nifkin and Xenox shut it down. Nifkin left on 1 HP, but bit of a mess of a round from Lancaster there. The disrespect coming in, they just immediately rush a ramp, no utility at all, just go straight for it. The CT side are ready, so that should be a 17th round on the board for them.
Yeah. Got absolutely decimated, destroyed as they pushed their way through, but good round from T-side. Again, it was so very long ago that we saw them on the CT side of things, and this is showing why they were in such a commanding lead to begin with. Very good hold to open up the second half of overtime. see if they're able to do so for the second round, and now Station takes the head clean off of Tobbs to open things up.
The double up setup was so difficult to deal with initially in the first half for Lancaster, and it seems again here as they're able to pull it out. Might just be another thorn in the side of Lancaster, and what a heartbreaking loss this would be for them. Still all to play for, like I say, it's not quite at that point yet. But they take this round, they'll at least have that second overtime secured by T-side. And they tend to be a team as well when they take that man advantage. Same as Lancaster, they take the man advantage. It's very easy indeed for them to keep a hold of it and eventually just take the round. Experilis on the lurk here, trying to find Freakill if he can. Actually get to pass Xenox and find Alsatian. So drops him, brings him back to the 4 out 4. Drops Xenox as well and takes him down cleanly. That's going to draw some rotates from the B bomb site. Meanwhile, the bomb is actually going to make its way towards B. Playing it patiently here. One more light will spot it out at the very last second. But he gets taken down. Bomb is going to get planted in the very least. They've got the AWP on the retake. Not really ideal here. There's still Experilis to deal with on the flank. He takes down Vegeta, so it's all on Nifkin. He's got nothing to his name other than a flashbang. Not even able to use it as Oak will find the scalp. So it's actually Lancaster to take that round. They talk about able to hold on to the man advantage. Silly little mistake to let Experilis in unnoticed as he picks up 2. That may well be the final nail in the coffin. It all remains to be seen whether T-side are able to get an 18th on the board, take us to second overtime, or whether it will be 19 for Lancaster and an incredible comeback from them.
I have no idea how Experilis was allowed to just roam so clear and so free onto the A bomb site to take down both players just beautifully. So we'll see now. Lancaster can take one down. Vegeta managing to find Enigma to open things up with. Well, we did see this previously and it didn't work out well for the side of T-side. So we'll see if they can make the numbers advantage count this time round. Experilis up in Palace has one player just in front of him. That will be Xenox, deciding not to go for the AWP as he's given it to Alsatian and Vegeta, who have been extremely successful with that weapon at hand. But still really rather passive. There's a minute on the clock, so loads of time for Lancaster to make a decision. They don't need to do anything just yet. You can see as well that shots have been fired now. Tobbs just getting away with his life, tries to pre-fire using the AWP in the hand and not able to find anything, and will now back away. Shots come in. Experilis will be the first to find Xenox. Now the push will come in. Smokes and the utility used to clear out any line of sight. Now, really, Lancaster should be able to get this bomb down cleanly, but the retake will surely come in soon. Oak is in a lovely position. He's able to take down one. There's not going to be one out through window just yet, as One More Light decides not to poke it. Matt is able to take down Nifkin. This could be it. Lancaster are just one round away from taking map number 1 in what has been a grueling, hard-fought victory. One More Light takes down 1. He takes down 2 as Experilis is able to take down Vegeta. 1 versus 1. Can he do it? He takes a lot of damage. 41 HP. He's going in for the ninja. Do they know he's there? The money comes in. Experilis will see this one out, and Lancaster will take map number 1. Oh, wow, that was close.
What a way for it to end as well. All off the back of a nade. It looked like for a second Experilis was going to play the fake game. But uses a nade, takes him down, and that will be, as you say, the first game going the way of Lancaster, and I feel like deservedly so. You know, there was a point in that game where T-side needed 2 rounds to win, and they just were not able to secure it at all. Lancaster staying strong, a stellar defense on that CT side of things. That was their pick as well, so they really needed to win that one out. It's going to go across to Cash after this, but holy moly, it seems like we're in for a good night of CS. Perhaps. I mean, it remains to be seen. You know, the mental game's definitely going to come into this. Lancaster, again, we talk about how experienced they are, even in offline settings and everything. T-side, a team that I believe didn't really make it this far last season. You know, you and I not really familiar with any of the players until very, very recently. And perhaps losing a game rather that they should really have won might get into their heads and kind of knock them out for the second map. So it could be Could be a 2-0 on the cards for Lancaster, who knows? But either way, unless you've got anything else to add, good stealth, sir. I believe.
No, I've just got to regain now. I was gonna take this quick break, regain composure. We'll get right back into it with map number 2. I'm really excited.
I think it's going to be brilliant. Either way, we'll see you soon, boys and girls, as we'll just be going to a quick break before we get into cash, map number 2 of the upper bracket final.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits. You can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong, and I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see
run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive? Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take. Look behind your back. Chase a light when the world is getting darker. I have a dream where love's the only side. So take my hand, join the army of the shadows. Going harder, we are more than numbers. Standing in this shade, going louder. We are all one color, standing in their way. Join the army of the shadow. Join the army of the shadow. Join the army of the shadows, shadows, shadows. Join the army of the shadows. Join the army of the shadows. Going harder. We are more than numbers. Standing in their shade. Going.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Would appear we were just about to get into knife, and now classic. The players seem to be complaining a little bit about the server, so it would seem, as they want everyone to be perfect, I suppose, going into this. But I am, of course, Scriv. A little bit of a Mexican standoff in middle at the moment while we get things sorted out. Joined again by my good friend Stealth. How are you feeling after that first map?
I feel like I've regained, maybe only a little bit, but I mean, what a first map of CS we've had for this Monday night. Really something that was quite unexpected. I really didn't expect Lancaster to take it that far, if I'm honest. I really expected, them to take it quite comfortably, but T-side, you really can't discount them just yet. I mean, that was a really good first half from them, from that map, but the second half, just slipping away from them. So maybe something to work on, but then again, T-side is very, very difficult on Mirage. Regardless, we're going to get into map number 2 shortly, and hopefully they can turn things around into their favour.
Yeah, it's I think perhaps something they need to work on more mentally is the Mirage. Like you say, a little bit more difficult on that T side, but not that difficult, right? And they just weren't quite able to find their feet on the T side of things, and neither team were able to do that, in all honesty, and it kind of came down to the CT sides and who was able to take that. They got exactly the same scoreline in the end, but the difference maker was the fact that Lancaster with the rifles were a lot more dominant. If they hadn't taken the pistol on their own terror side, T side would have been out a lot sooner in that first map. But as it happens, going to be a little bit of a pause, it would seem, so far. A little bit of a break, something. I don't know. The knife's been played. Lancaster won. Are they deciding on which side they want to pick? What's going on, Chris?
No, you have about as much clue as I do. No idea what is going on. I don't know if this can't be the actual pistol round because Lancaster already won a round according to this. So
Indeed. I think they've just got to pick what side they want to go on. I mean, maybe they are kind of talking about it, you know, how they feel. Cash at the moment, I think, in the current meta, very, very even map on both sides, you know, and it's kind of, you want to make that right decision. They had a very difficult T side on Mirage, despite taking the game in the end. It all came down to the CT side, so it seems wise to pick the CT side here. See whether T side are able to improve their own terrorist side, as that's just been a mouthful all evening, to be honest. T side and T side, you know. But the pistol here on the T side is a hell of a lot easier to secure if you can play it right. A control, very easy to secure indeed. Then you get out with a smoke and a flashbang. One more light will take down Oak. Now it's on Enigma. He's kind of backed off, going to let them plant the bomb. With a fight going in towards middle. No kills coming in yet off the back of that. But that bomb's going to go down. Plant a frame it as well. Vegeta 2 quick kills with the Glock. We'll get traded back by Enigma, but it's a 4-on-2 situation now. And that kit has been dropped as well, so time is of the essence. They've got to find the kills quickly on the CT side of things. Lancaster with their backs against the wall in this round for sure. There are 3 players over towards A main if you count the forklift player. It's going to be very difficult to hit that retake indeed, and not picked up a single kill yet. The bomb almost ticked down, not even able to get onto the bomb site as Xenox picks up a 2k of his own. So Xenox, Vegeta, beautiful rounds from them, but ultimately T-side take the pistol. And again, off to a strong start as we get into cash.
very strong start from T-side. We obviously saw this last map where they had a very good first half, but a lackluster second. Maybe this could be very much the same story. As it stands, 1-0 up. Good start from them. Puts the side of Lancaster on the back foot to open things up, and Tobbs, already taking quite a bit of damage from mid. Vegeta will be just causing a nuisance around mid, as he is definitely one to watch out for on the side of T-side.
Sure, I mean, dropping 38 kills in regulation and they don't take it is a really good showing, but also a little bit tilting. So, we need to take this second round cleanly as well as a team, as a unit. Start stacking those rounds. On the edge of the smoke, Tobbs will spot out Alsatian. Drops in, takes down one of the SMGs as well. Going to spot out Xenox, who's not quite able to clean it up. Going to go for the reload. Mac 10 secured by Tobbs. His teammate will go down. He's back into a 4-on-4, but he's done a fair amount of damage. Some other teammates could definitely capitalise on. One more light as well goes down to 12. Tobbs with the slight off angle going to find Vegeta. So suddenly it's a 3-on-2. We've got one more light on 12 HP. Xenox only on 56. Not very much utility remaining for the team as a whole, and they still don't have the bomb down, and they have very little control at all. So this is a very difficult round, in all honesty, for T-side to win back. And we'll be able to make themselves over towards B, though, via the vents. And there's no one directly on the site. So at the very least, they will get the bomb down. It's going to be planted for Xenox as well over towards B main. So I would assume. I mean, if it's not, then you know, one more light needs a bit of a slap. But at this point, 3-on-2, making it 2-on-2 with Xenox. Will find a kill, but Tobbs very quickly drops first, and Oak will find Xenox. The round does actually go the way of T-side, of Lancaster rather. T-side not able to win it out against all the odds. Lancaster here make it 1-1.
Good round as well, and I think that really came down to the over-aggressiveness from T-side. They didn't really need to push through mid that high. They really should have just picked a bomb site and stuck with it. But regardless, mistakes were made. Lessons have been learned. We'll go into round number 3 shortly, where you'd expect T-side to play a bit more, I don't know how to say it, but like, as is what's expected of them. Don't be getting too aggressive, because you know you're going to get caught out, especially when you've got the likes of Tobbs, who will punish you, as well as Ex-Barillis, a fantastic punisher in this game. Just happened to fire down through mid from Enigma. I think it was just pre-firing and hoping that one of the players from T-side was poking his head out from behind the boxes, but doesn't find anyone just yet. Vegeta's already taken a bit of damage, and that was my nade tossed straight over towards mid, and now in comes the take onto the B bomb site. Alsatian has been quite aggressive, pushing his way up. Matt was the defender on site, but the trades do come in, and now we have Lancaster on the back foot. 3 players have fallen, despite how low they were on the whole utility. Oak, though, will take down Vegeta with a lovely little headshot, and that will leave Tobbs and Oak taking on Alsatian and Xenox.
Alsatian out of position, allows Tobbs to pick up that kill, costs him a fair chunk of his HP. Xenox playing up close and personal as well, will find both of them as Oak is caught with a nade out in hand. I could see that one coming as I saw Xenox with the nade out. The timing was perfect there. Not Xenox with the nade out, rather. Oak with the nade out. Xenox, the timing was perfect for him to pick up that round. And some very sloppy CS. There's been a huge kind of slugfest in the first map. Maybe lost the kind of conventional, sort of rules and basics of CS at this point in time. And both teams really not performing well up against these force buys. And there was only 2 rifles for the T side there. And here we see Lancaster on the weaker buy. They get the first kill onto Alsatian. So really, really sloppy CS to start us off here on the second map. As Lancaster definitely with a chance to get themselves a second on the board. And I mean, it's going to come down to at this point with both teams force buying and whatever. It's going to be the first round that wins 2 rounds in a row that will eventually start to run away with things. So we'll see if T-side are able to recover it as they're going to get themselves onto the A-bomb site very, very quickly. Bomb going to go down. Oak going to allow that to happen. Playing more off the sound cues to just gather info here. There's actually Tobbs on the flank. Not quite ready for that one. One more light will trade him out. Oak finds Xenox over towards Forklift, so it's a 2-on-4 situation. Bomb is planted for Vegeta here. If there's anyone you'd want in this position, it is him. He finds the first, but now he's left all on his lonesome. As Enigma and Experilis are easy kills, but Matt is not. He will pick up Vegeta, gets himself a 3k for the round, and it would seem, Chris, if you don't have money, you're going to win the round.
I feel like that's the way it's got to be. It's just...
After such
ridiculous.
a close game, to come into this and see them just running around with pistols, somehow winning it, is just a complete juxtaposition. It's a bit of a tilter.
It shouldn't happen. Okay, yeah. It shouldn't happen, but it is. So my money's on T-side taking this round now because, you know, they've got very little on the side of utility and guns. But, you know, who even knows at this point? It really could go either way. The utility being used wisely, though, from the side of Lancaster as they push their way through. Alsatian will be the first to fall, caught unawares as Experilis is able to take him down. He tries to get the spray onto Experilis, but he turns and burns and destroys him as he tries to punish him. Vegeta will, however, trade that one out. Now they push their way through. Nifkin takes down one. Tobbs taking down Xenox now. Vegeta and Nifkin have a lot of work to do. Nifkin will look to get the bomb down shortly, where you can see that the 3 Lancaster players left alive will just collapse onto them. It's going to take a lot for them to hold on to this. They cannot miss a single shot and really can't take a hint of damage. So far, Vegeta just hanging around. Expect push down low, sees the first, sees the second, managed to get a few shots off, but Nigla and Tobbs combine, and that will be the round to Lancaster, as it should be.
As it should be. It seems we are back into the norm of CS, what you would expect going forwards. So they do manage to get the bomb down there, but T-side here, it would be very risky to go for a full buy, I think, so by the looks of things. Just a few upgraded pistols, a little bit of utility, but finally Lancaster able to string a couple together, win themselves out a reasonably clean round. You know, they still lose a couple players there, but all the same, not all bad from them. You know, at this point, they just want to take the lead and start to string some rounds together, and it looks like here they might be able to get a 4th on the board if they keep up the clean CS. I mean, there's one player with armor on this T side. If they win it, then I'm leaving.
Well, especially with the nade that comes through and takes down like 80% of Vegeta's health, and then like 50%, sorry, of one more life. Well, as expected, both players who were extremely weak have been taken down. They start chipping away massively, actually, at the side of T-side, and just like that, just wipe the floor with them. Oak will fall for the side of Lancaster, giving T-side just a little hint of money, but not enough to do much with as they look to try and buy their way into this one. Now Lancaster 4-2 up.
Yeah, finally. A conventional anti-eco situation, only losing one player there. Not a bad result at all for Lancaster, so they're going to get their economy rolling a little bit at least going forwards. 4-2 as well, looking to get a fifth on the board. So I think we get into our first official gun round. Vegeta will find the head of Tobbs towards middle. And this is a danger man of that Lancaster side dropped for sure. T-side coming in. Experilis with a huge opportunity to get two, but not quite able to connect it. Going to be into a 5-on-3, making a 5-on-2, and so far a good answer back from T-side to making their way onto the other side. Only got one player to deal with. Vegeta will find him, and now Matt 1 versus 4, and there's not much you can really say about that round. It was just sort of Lancaster getting a bit aggressive 1-by-1 and not able to win the duels. Everyone pretty much on the T side of things finding their shots again, and this may well be a similar situation as to what we saw in the first half of Mirage. Very decisive rifle round for Assad's taxis.
Ding! There's number 2. That's 2 for the night. To be fair, it's only 2. I expected a lot more. But yes, really, that was just a really poor round from Lancaster. Not being in position to trade off the kills and really not making them count, because really, Experilis should have got that kill, or even, 1 or 2 of them from the vents. He got aggressive and it didn't work out. Look at this now. Xenox now gets aggressive, gets taken down by Tobbs. That is the style that's going to come in throughout the rest of this map. I can guarantee it. If you get too over aggressive and push up on your own, you're going to get punished. You've got to be in a position where you can trade out the kills and make them count, because that's how you're going to be able to retake these bomb sites and initially take these sites. You can see now that they're pushing into this B site now. And yes, T-side are in a better position because they can trade out that kill. Nice and easy. X-Rose is within close proximity, so again, he can trade that out. But now, he's left all alone as the bomb does get planted. He has one more light in Nifkin in close proximity, but he now has the other 3 players coming in support. Oak up in heaven. He's going to spot out one of the players down low shortly, call that out, and then they can rotate around and be able to trade this out. Experilis has utility for days as well, so he's going to use that perfectly as they push their way through. Both players fall, and there you have it. Just so easily done from Lancaster. That's how they should have played last round.
Yeah, for sure. And getting that diffusion pretty easily as well means that they're quite easily able to survive with everybody on the board. So it's, well, 3 players on the board. The majority is what I'm going for there, the majority of the team. So again, we talk about how important that is for the economy going forwards. Tobbs yet to be on the AWP, but at the moment not quite needed. I mean, he's top fragging for his team, and I believe the server as well. He is indeed. So, you know, that's always the dangerous thing. If Tobbs is firing on all cylinders and everybody's there to come up in support, it can be very, very hard to shut this Lancaster side down. But T-side, so far, definitely doing a really, really good job of it so far over the first map and here on the second map. Not getting walked all over and giving us some very competitive rounds of CS indeed. But again, as we've mentioned quite a bit this evening, it kind of comes down to that mental fortitude. Lancaster able to keep it together and on the first map, and going into the second map as well, look a little bit more clean with the rounds that they are winning.
Oh, good shot coming in from Tobbs, takes out station from the vent. One more light is in close proximity, but he will not be able to do anything with it right now. He has smoked off the mid area, so gives him a bit more of a opportune moment to get more aggressive through mid map. However, the bomb still left towards T-spawn. And again, very passive coming in. Look at this from Experilis. He's pushed right up to the corner. We'll spot 1. However, Nifkin will be there to take the kill. Vegeta has now pushed straight away out onto this B bomb site. We can see 1 there ahead of him. That will be Matt, and beautiful shots coming in. Tobbs there in retaliation. However, not able to connect any of his shots. But Enigma pushes his way through and takes down Vegeta. 3 versus 3 with Nifkin extremely low on health. Could sneeze and you'd kill him.
Indeed, there's no utility remaining for the CT side, however, so it's going to come down to just finding shots. Caught with an 8 out, one more light will go down. Now it's going to be onto these players holding from behind, and Diffuse is going to come in. Whether they're aware of Xenox being over towards Heaven, Molotov could change everything if he's able to land it. Not quite able to get it in. The gap a little bit too small between, you know, kind of peeking too wide, getting taken down. So unfortunate there from Xenox, a little bit shaky towards the end. It will be Lancaster getting the defusing, getting another round on the board, and T-side here have a decision. I think they're just going to go for the eco here. That would be the wise play, but this is more what we expected on that first map. And I mean, we talked about very, very briefly, if anyone remembers, how important the knife round can actually be, and how much of a difference that it makes. And Lancaster here, starting on the CT side, getting their comfort kind of zone rolling, then they are able to pick up a lot of rounds and look really good doing so.
Yeah, it's very much the snowball effect.
Exactly.
Well, round number 10 does begin. Lancaster in a very good position. Shots have been fired through. Squeaky Oak has been caught unawares as he tries to pull out the AK, and Xenox picks up 2. Tobzo has no vision whatsoever. The smokes have been thrown right the way over. He's just pre-firing through the smoke, hoping to find someone, but not finding anyone just yet. He has Matt in close proximity, so he's able to trade out. Alsatiano does get tagged up from 2 different players. We're hoping to stay alive at the back of this crate. Nicking on the rotation, though, manages to take down one, gets traded out by Matt Experillis, and Matt don't want to challenge this one, decide to fight and live for another day. Hold on to their weaponry. Smart choice from them, as they will lose this round and go down 6-4.
Yeah, I mean, a round again where they shouldn't be winning it, but they do. You know, most of the players on just upgraded pistols, a little bit of armor, and of course, Xenox with the save from the previous round does work this round as well with that AK. So a good job that he did, but still, you know, another round that you wouldn't expect them to take. You know, but they managed to do it. So it seems, don't be buying rifles, just be buying pistols. That's the best way to win rounds at the moment for T-side.
Well, it stands. T-side now having a better buy coming into the round number 11. This from Tobzo is so aggressive, pushes his way right up through mid. He does have a teammate in support, so they can boost his way up and maybe catch out the opposition off guard. Has gone ahead of one player, however, he will fall as he gets the trade. I think, wait, Enigma ended up taking down Tops. That's really quite unfortunate. You don't like to see that. However, it doesn't matter at this moment in time. They're able to get 1 for 1. You can see now that they've gone for the A bomb site. Plant has come in from T side. Only Oak anywhere near to it. They look to try and catch them off guard. He gets the spray down onto one more light. Far with the FAMAS, and now has 2 more players in support. Look to retake this site.
Versus 3, they've got all the kits available to them. He's going to find one. The double spray down coming in from Nifkin, very quick indeed. And Enigma with it all to do now. And unfortunately not able to do so. Xenox above will take him down. The bomb a bit too far ticked under the pressure. Enigma not able to find it. So get themselves a second round in a row here on that side of T side, and now able also to reset the economy of Lancaster. So there is a chance. There's a chance indeed that they'll get 6, maybe 7 on the board here and start to make it a little bit closer. And again, you know, give us some really good competitive CS, as they are definitely not a side to be sniffed at. You know, we saw this time last season, the Winter Championship, I believe it was Bath that Lancaster were up against then, and it did go to a best of 3. But if I remember correctly, it was 2, you know, one-sided affairs. For Lancaster, they just so happened to be the first and third map. And the second map, I think, was Nuke, which is generally a permaban of Lancaster, at least now, maybe not all the time. So, a hell of a lot closer this season, it would seem. Triple kills coming in for these pistols, but ultimately, an easy cleanup for T-side. Still, though, keeping the economic pressure on from Lancaster, not bad at all.
Clinical round from T-side. As expected, though, they do take the round. Now Lancaster have a little bit more to work with. Obviously, I say a little bit more. They've got a lot more to work with for utility. Better weaponry. See how it will work out well for them this time. Tops has been smoked and flashed, so have to back away. Just again, flashed once again. Expecting anyone to push through. Enigma. Let's take a bit of damage from the Molly. Has to back away and play for his life, but just see how things pan out. Tops has called one out now. That will be one player in mid. Will go with the nade. Takes a bit of damage himself. Not able to really connect with the opposition player. You can see that T-side wants to try and get a bit of map control up through mid to allow them to break away either to A or B bomb site easily.
Indeed. Utility as well, you know, you have to mention, for both sides is lacking at the moment, so they really need to find their shots on either side. You've got Enigma with the org in hand, so it would seem Nifkin finds him, however. That's going to make this B bomb site very tasty indeed if they opt to go for it. A couple players in checkers going to help out. Pincer this one in. Matt going to spot out two. Does find the head and eventually the kill of Alsatian. He's run out of ammo, but I believe the rotate's going to be coming in quickly. Surely another Experilis as well. He's taking one down in the meantime, and Tobbs on the flank will finish it off. So Lancaster able to get a 7th on the board, and a really good hold there from Matt on the B bomb site to keep his team in that round.
There's all the flank that came in. Matt holding that site alone for such a long duration. Lovely work from him. Obviously then Tobbs coming in to clean up the two players who had taken him down. So good trades coming in. Still, a nice little buy coming in from T-side. However, Vegeta takes a bit of fire to the face. Gonna leave him sore in the morning with that one. Has been flashed as he tries to poke up again to get a bit more vision over mid map. Can't see anyone just yet. Has spotted one player pushing through. Enigma will be there, but Tobbs in a perfect position to trade out the kill. We'll see how they react to that one. You can see one player push all the way up onto the B bomb site. He will fall. That will be Nifkin, and now 3 players to descend upon the A site, and it's down to Oak, who is the closest. He's going to hear the bomb get planted very, very shortly. He's in a lovely little spot here. He's going to be able to catch out one player to his right-hand side. Surely. Doesn't even know. That's really quite... It's just there.
So intense. So close at this point as well, and he's actually going to pick up a kill. Finally, Oak will notice that Alsatian is there. Matt on the flank picks up one as well. Bomb has been planted, still in this 3-on-2, making a 3-on-1 for one more light. One very far ticked indeed. They do have a kit in hand, and now one more light on low HP. Gonna have to try and make something happen, but can't. And Oak will be able to get the defuse in an 8th round on the board. The Lancaster are starting. They've now secured the victory within the half, but it's a case of whether they can edge slightly further away from T-side. Although, saying that, I think T-side have put up enough rounds here, and really anything more than this is a bonus.
Absolutely. I'd take this and run. But, in all fairness, they will want to look to definitely bring up some more on this and look to pull this one back. I mean, they're only down by 2 rounds, so it's very much doable, and they are putting up one hell of a fight thus far. Alsatian is taking quite a bit of damage as the nades do fly through mid. Managed to land at his feet. He will still be standing, however. Experilis takes a bit of damage himself. Xenox trying to pre-fire through the smoke and through the wall, hoping to catch off one player on the site, but no one is there. You see, they're looking to favour the B site this time round. You can see 2 players actually pushing up closer, just edging ever closer, as well as the bomb itself, but no mid-map control this time round, hoping to gain full control onto one site. That's successful. Nifkin pushes going through, but Matt finds the head of him. Tops will find the second player. That will be Vegeta that falls now. Experilis with the open hand, waiting patiently for that player. I think it's Alsatian just round the corner. One more light is actually there as well. He will surely push his way through. Finds the head of one. That's a good kill from him, but immediately traded out by Experilis, and that is a good half from Lancaster.
Indeed, they take the 9. You know, they're looking a little bit more decisive, but still, T-side do have a chance if they can take this pistol, definitely, you know, to make this a hell of a lot more competitive. And we saw how good their CT side was on Mirage. So it does bode well going forward. A lot does kind of hinge on this pistol here, and also hinges on Lancaster being able to find their feet on the T side, because it's something they really, really struggled with. But perhaps they've had a bit of a chance to warm up getting into the second half, the second game. Remains to be seen at this point. It is, in fact, at the top, if you just joined us there, it's not quite been updated, it would seem. It is, in fact, one map in favour of Lancaster at the moment. So if they win this one, it will be a 2-0. If T-side win this one, it will go to Inferno, our decider. But either way, pistol coming in here. The smokes flash is going to go through the cheater here over towards fence, only able to get one before being traded back. Xenox now needs to try and find something. The pistol spam coming in. Not able to hit anything, though, as he gets taken down. You hate to see it, as you would say, Stealth. And now it's going to be a 4 versus 3 retake. There is a kit in the hands of Alsatian. A Molotov, interestingly, for Nifkin. You go flying towards default. Pushes Enigma out of position, but he says, fine then. I'll just pick up the kills as he gets another as well. Now all on Nifkin, left on 27 HP. 3 heads to find. Might be able to find Enigma on low HP. He will, but Bond so far gone. Doesn't have that kit in hand. Doesn't really have any time to check all the angles. And will eventually get taken down by Matt. So 10-6 as they take the pistol. Should become a 12-6 scoreline here. And Lancaster looking really strong going into our second half.
Yeah, very solid pistol round coming in from them. I mean, really, you can't be whiffing shots like that on site. You really can't. You've got to be hitting them, and you've got to be retaking that site back. Unfortunately, he's not able to do so, and Lancaster will punish them for it. Up by 4 rounds now, and 6 rounds away from taking the win in this best of 3. Still a long road to travel yet, and again, we did see it in the first map where Lancaster were down by quite a distance, managed to claw it all the way back to overtime and take the win, so you cannot discount T-side from it just yet. Oak able to find the first, find the head of Vegeta, but he has taken quite a bit of damage himself, and Xenox in a sneaky little position here, waiting for them to push their way through, out of sneaky, or even trying to use the sounds that he can hear, footsteps behind him, and use that to allow him to pick up where they'll be pushing. Oh, Nifkin, that was not a good idea. Experitus punishes him for dropping down and trying to even challenge that one. And now, T-side will look to rotate Alsatian up high with the Deagle. Not going to be able to connect and will back away.
Indeed, going to be a 5-on-3 for the CT side, but I think at this point, just kind of save into the next round, try and get some exits, that kind of thing, as they're not going to be able to take this one, you know, against fully bought up T's, so retake pretty much impossible. Very little utility for them as well, so it's going to be very, very hard indeed. They look to just kind of go into the next round, take this one on the chin. Clean 11th round for Lancaster as they don't lose a single player, so looking good for them. Going into the latter stages of this game, T-side, I think, need to do a bit of economic damage with these guns that they're saving in the next round, and then it will make things slightly easier for them, perhaps, going into that very first gun round. And I mean, if they're able to save this armor as well, you know, that's $1,000 less. Xenox looking to get an exit. He will only able to get one before being immediately traded back, however. So there's that economic damage I was talking about. I'm going to keep at least one player buying up. I think Tobbs may or may not have had an AK in that situation as well, so he spent a fair chunk of his money, at least, as you can see here, buying up the Mac 10, but left on 1.7k. Less than that now. Of course, the classic GoTV bug, if you kind of buy in the very final second of the buy time, it doesn't actually take away from your money, you know, you've got to love it. A-Rush coming in here at the team. Nade's going to do a hell of a lot of damage. Straight and a quick round as Lancaster clean up. Easy peasy against T-side. So very quickly getting into the first gun round here.
Just deleted them. Just completely deleted them off the map. They just walked into knowing what was going to happen. Filth coming in from Lancaster, but to be expected. Now up by 6. Looking to cement their position as the top team in the UK with a win here. He will be going through towards NUEL live then. But shot's been fired through mid. Vegeta able to just escape with his life up on the top side. He's in a very good position. He's taken down Matt. Waits for the second pass. Oh, in the eye of this second player. I thought he'd seen him sooner, but obviously hadn't. It will be Enigma that will fall out, trying to stay alive inside of Squeaky. Looks to throw down a mine to cover his tracks and hope that nobody will push him. He does have Thompson support. It's just outside of Squeaky. Vegeta will finally fall. However, a lot of damage has been done, and Tobbs finds the head out beautifully, but great retake coming in from T-side, and that will be 7th round on the board for them.
Yeah, they get their first going round on the board, looking good as well. Keep the majority of their team alive. And some really kind of smart play to just, again, we saw this from Lancaster on their CT side. Give up A control if you need. Retaking A is not at all difficult, and you can also kind of hold the cross as they did there from Highway. In fact, with 2 players, and it works out beautifully in the end as they take the round. Now comes the key round, though. They don't want to get reset. They've got a couple players on, you know, Xenox on the lesser weaponry, Vegeta with just an M4. So, not really ideal, and Hobbs now has got his hand on the door. He picks up the first kill over towards middle. Costs him a fair chunk of his HP, but I think he will take that trade-off. Also dropping Alsatian, again, one of those dangerous names on the T side, university side. It's so confusing, we talked about it all evening. I mean, they all just need to go to like a different university if they want to play CS in the NUEL or something, because it's as the evening gets going, it's a bit difficult to keep up with. At least for me. I don't know about you.
Nah, I'm used to it now. I'm a seasoned vet. I just kind of just see it like T side, and then
you've got the post-its as well. That's where I'm going wrong.
Exactly. See, that's exactly it. It's game changer. I'm telling you now. Regardless, we'll get back into the match itself. You can hear the footsteps of Expertus with his 4 teammates in behind him, looking to push up towards the B bomb site so very slowly. Nifkin is there, waiting. Shots have been fired. One more line will pick up Expertus. Nifkin there to pick up 2 more. That will be Matt and Oak that will fall. And Nifkin tries to pick up 1. Shots are waving. He's able to connect. However, he will get traded out, and Nifkin will pick up. Is that 4 for the round then? I think it was 4. Which was fantastic.
Indeed, looking really good going forward. Having everybody firing on all cylinders is really important on the CT side of things. Don't want anybody kind of being that dead weight. In all honesty, you know, you've got kind of 1 more light. Alsatian, I did mention he was a danger man, at least in the first map, especially with that AWP in hand, but being a little bit quiet here in the second. Going to be a full eco coming in from Lancaster. They've got a P250 and a Deagle in the hands of Enigma and Matt, respectively. But ultimately, with no armor on the board, it should be another round going the way of T-side. Make it a 12-9, make it a little bit more of a doable scoreline. As they are looking pretty strong at the moment with these rifles in hand. Something clearly needs to change for Lancaster if they want to get back into this one. They still do have a fair amount of rounds as buffer, but, you know, ultimately, that is the weirdest A-main lineup smoke I've ever seen. And it doesn't actually work out. I don't know what the hell the idea was from Xenox, to be honest. But whatever. Glock kill for Experillis over on that B-bomb site to drop 1 more light. He's really having a tough game. Now it's into a 5-on-4 situation, and I mean...
How was he let that happen then?
Who knows? I don't know if you guys heard that. Do you hear Nifkin just then? He just said, I don't know how that's happened then. His teammate clearly goes down. Oh god.
Oh dear, you hate to see it. Shots have been fired on the B bomb site, and Alsatian will take out Expertus with a lovely little headshot. And still, it doesn't seem as if T-side know which site they're going for. If Lancaster can take this, that'll be outrageous. Nifkin finds the head of 1, finds the second shot, make up the third as Tobbs and Oak and Matt just line up in a line for him, make things way too easy. Enigma's able to find 1. He does something, but Alsatian will be there as he tries to poke his way through vents. And T-side getting back on the board.
Indeed. As you can see now, the little notch has appeared for Lancaster to signify that they won that first map. But Yeah, they're getting closer and closer now. I mean, another round here that they need to take, bring it into 12-10. The loss bonus stacking up now for Lancaster, so it does remain to be seen what they do going into the future. But either way, take it round by round. If they're able to take another rifle round, it really does bode well to at least even up the scoreline. But Lancaster now, I think, are definitely going to be feeling the pressure, and generally they don't succumb to it. Sometimes it can really allow them to take the game if they recognise they're under pressure. Ooh, Alsatian gets away from the sandbags Molotov on 3 HP. So not quite the opening kill they would want for Lancaster, but bodes well going into the kind of execution portion of the round. Gain that mid control as well, which not as important as Mirage, but still pretty important here on Cash. So looking good for them going into the last stage of the round. Looks like they want to go for a bit more of a B split, as the bomb is making its way towards B main, a bit more pressure over towards vents, and they might just be able to catch out Nifkin. Got 1 or 2 from here. Gonna get the first kill, but now his position will be known, so he has to act rather than letting them come to him. Molotov is a good way to go through. Flashbang as well dropped, but not quite able to pick up another kill. Now all on one more line. We've been calling him out for a large portion of the game. Only able to get 1, however. Tobbs picking up 2, in fact, to bring it back into a 3-on-2 situation. As now, it would seem slightly more difficult retake for the CT side. There's some very low HP players, and they do have the kits, but they've got Xenox on the door. Never really, especially for B site Cash, the ideal weaponry that you would want going back into the retake. Molotov into heaven. Default spot just gets sprayed down, not quite able to convert into the kill, and I don't think Vegeta saw the play across in checkers. 2 kills do come in. The quick 180 from Vegeta will tag up Enigma at least. These 2 players are so low, the bomb is so far gone. Going to go for the hold here, I think, by the looks of things, but Enigma will find the kill, and that's going to secure the round now as Xenox, no time to get anything in. Going to at least try and find the kill here, I think, but Enigma will take him down as well. And Lancaster finally put a stop to the little mini comeback in this second half from T-side. The money of both sides, though, is absolutely demolished going into round number 23.
Yeah, and to be fair, that was a big round for Lancaster. They had to win that, or T-side would really have taken this back-to-back rounds. But regardless, Lancaster take that one, and it was a lovely play as well from Enigma just to find the time of wind down the clock. And the bomb placement was just sublime as well. See how they come onto the attacking side of things now. Look, they're pushing all the way up through to Squeaky. But this will do they know. T-side are ready and waiting. Looking for the boost spot up onto the top corner. Waiting patiently. The side of T-side, shots have been fired. One more light trying to pre-aim through and hoping to find someone. Not just yet. Tell you what though, if he pre-fires through, Norway he might find one, but Tobbs rips ahead of him. One more light, finds a second up in the top corner. Unfortunately, he doesn't check his left-hand corner and will get taken down. That's Vegeta, who will find 2. Enigma and Oak. That's in a 2 versus 1. However, that will be Enigma to full Oak. Has a lot of work to do. Has to push his way through now to take out Vegeta, who has been the main danger man for T-side. Nifkin down on 19 HP, but he does have that one-shot ability with the AK in hand.
Indeed. Needs to be finding the shot, so an Oak very no utility, in fact. Does have the bomb in hand, that's kind of the one saving grace here in a fair amount of time. CT defense has been split up, one over towards middle to see if he's going to rotate towards B. Of course, Nifkin here, as you mentioned, on low HP, but all the same, he's got to hold down the fort at 8 at this point in time. 17 seconds remaining. I mean, Oak really bringing it down to the wire here. Going to start making a lot of noise. Nifkin should be able to play around this one. Getting ready to peek, and he will find the kill. A little bit of BM with the extra spray coming in as well. And again, around where they shouldn't really be winning it, but T-side managed to do so. And now Lancaster, their economy getting reset.
Well, that gives T-side an opening that they so desperately needed. They couldn't allow Lancaster to take that round win, and now surely they should take this one as well to take that to 11-13. It would be expected, but then again, things have gone very much the way of the unexpected. Well, certainly in the opening rounds anyway. And maybe, just maybe Lancaster can push their way onto this site, which they will be able to do so. One more light, they'll take down one, traded out by Matt. Nifkin able to take down two before Experilis and Enigma combine to take him down. The site is now theirs, but they have 3 players closing in very, very fast. It will be a 2 versus 3. Enigma and Experilis have a lot of work to do. Alsatian has the open hand waiting for them to poke out just behind the corner. So very close not to find him, but Experilis has now picked up a M4A1S. This is much better than the pistol he had currently. He's able to find one. That will be a spray down onto Zeno. Sees the second one behind. Does a lot of damage, but not able to get the kill. He has a lot of work to do. And never finds one. He's able to take down the second. Has to back away. Gonna challenge him short. Surely he's going to do so. And Alsatian will shut him down. T-side take the round, but not convincingly. Not even close.
So difficult on the retake there, very close to the wire indeed, as it would seem. Just so difficult, you know, on that retake there in the end, despite having a man advantage. So a hell of a lot closer to the wire, like you say, than it really should be for T-side. But either way, they get the round on the board. Got a fair amount of money going forwards as well. Lancaster, however, they're probably going to have to go for an eco here, let it get to 13-12. Again, really coming down to the wire, these very close rounds indeed, as we saw on Mirage. And also another, you know, very, very close, well, very strong, rather, showing on the CT side of things from both sides.
Wow. It's going to be a lot of work for Lancasters to just get their way out of this one. Obviously, the pool's coming in. They're going to have to talk about this now. Really figure out a way that they can break down T-side's defenses in order to just edge that little bit closer to victory. As it stands, though, obviously they are only up by 2 rounds, but T-side are doing very well defensively, just putting up a very strong wall that Lancaster cannot break down. If they continue like this, they could very well take the map.
Indeed. Hopefully, shouldn't be waiting too long. Getting back into things. Believe it's just some kind of ping issues at this point. Maybe, I mean, we have a quick look at the scoreboard. Xenox is on 500 ping, so really not sure what's going on. And apparently, that's been going on for a little while, a few rounds for him. Obviously nothing that we can really do on our end, but, you know, it just kind of happens. So just kind of wait it out, see what the issue is. If they can't sort it quickly, then obviously admins will force the unpause and push things forward. But I don't know. I mean, Lancaster just looked very lost on their T side. You know, they get the pistol, they get up to 12, but as soon as they get rifles in hand on both sides, it just suddenly becomes very difficult for them to convert rounds, which is surprising. It's not what we expect from them at all.
No, it kind of feels like they stop their communication as soon as they win a couple of rounds and they get those rifles and the utility in hand. Because as soon as that happens, they start to go their separate ways. They stop playing as a unit and start playing as individuals. And I think that's where their downfall lies, is they've gotten a little bit too complacent over the course of this season. Having won last season as well, obviously will play a big part in their mentality, but I think that's where the issue lies currently.
Indeed. I'm just trying to sort of read through the chat here, honestly. Can't really see hugely what the issue is. I think it's just they're sort of trying to wait for ping, like I say. Xenox disconnected. Trying to reconnect, perhaps. I don't know what they're going to do going forward if he can't improve his ping, because I'm not sure at this point. I feel like it'd be a bit too late to get a stand-in. Very questionable practice as well if the admins kind of allowed that to happen. So
yeah,
they might just have to go on without him, honestly.
well, we'll give it a little more time. We'll see what will happen. We'll obviously have to leave that down to the admins to decide on how things progress from here. He has reconnected, so that should hopefully sort things out for himself. You can see ping seems to be pretty much even across the board now. It's not too bad. Well, actually, no, I'd say that. It's just shot up to 136 and rising. He's having a horrid time.
Yeah, I don't really know what they're going to do because it's not server-wise. I think players have said there's a little bit of an issue with the SV sometimes kind of spiking, but that's something that everyone has to deal with. You know, and sort of in a way playing on, you know, an even playing field, but I'm really not sure. So Xenox has left again. Oh, okay. It's because he didn't. Okay. Brilliant.
Wait, what?
He didn't have the anti-cheat on, so it kicked him from the server when he reconnected.
Ah,
That's
yeah,
why
hate to
he
see
was
it.
having issues there. So apparently, Matt needs to go get some bread and milk, so we really need to finish this one up quickly before the shop shuts.
24-hour shops.
Apparently there's an Asda that's 24 hours.
Well, there you are. See, there's one around the corner from myself. It is pretty good.
Yeah, it's always nice, always handy to have that kind of thing close by. But I'm not really. Oh god. Tob saying we need an Asda sponsorship here at the new.
You know, I'd be in more for that.
Yeah, man. You know,
Great.
we have like the events that we sponsor. Like we had King of the North this weekend, which we kind of helped out with, and you know the connections, the supplies kind of thing, and you know, I mean, if we can get Asda on board, we won't only have laptops and things. It will also be milk for everyone, I guess.
Hey, I'm good with milk.
Asda have anything?
Bread and milk. The essentials.
I guess, but it's not really exciting, is it?
Yeah,
Gatto,
but think about it,
supplied by
right?
Asda.
Students have it tough with buying like their shopping on a weekly basis, right? It's hard. You've got very little money in the student loan. A lot of it goes on alcohol. So you think about it, you get a discount on your alcohol as your pre-drinks. Then you've got discount on your weekly shop as well. So you've got your basics ready to go. So your 20-pack of noodles. So you're fine.
20? Jesus.
Isn't that how students live? Packs of
Kind
noodles, ramen.
I mean, I'm a student. I can't argue. Yes, that is true. 20 at a time is a little bit overkill. I have to admit, in all honesty. But I suppose if you're really into those ramen noodles, then go for it. Who am I to judge? I don't really know how much stalling we can do. The admins have said they've got until 9:55. So if we wait a couple more minutes, see if Xenox has come back. If not, then we'll throw over to a bit of a break. It's a little bit unfortunate here. You know, they're trying to make this comeback on the T side of things. Looks like Xenox is going to be back in. Hopefully, he's okay. Ooh, nice. I like that one. You guys didn't see that. If people follow the NUEL, we had a player Panics who got Face It banned. So he got kicked from the NUEL in between these two seasons, you know, in between winter and spring. So, goodbye. Don't like cheaters, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I don't think he cheated in the NUEL. I have to be honest, but I think, you know, having a Face It ban gets you banned from everywhere. He claims, as far as I'm aware, he claims he wasn't cheating. Something else must have got him banned. Haha.
That's what they all say.
Third-party software. Haha. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, looks like we are getting back into things finally. As is always the case, as soon as we say, right, time to go to a break, I think. No, it isn't. You know, the player rejoins and everything is hunky-dory. He's sat on about 100 ping at the moment, which is not really ideal, but there's not really much you can do about it at this point. Although saying that, I mean, playing on a solid 100 ping is like weirdly smooth, but it is climbing as I say that. So remains to be seen. It could very well be the end of things for Xenox and his team due to some unfortunate circumstances. Should be able to take this round regardless, I feel, as they're up against 5 pistols, no armor. Alsatian getting the first.
Oh,
Nifkin. Oh, okay. See you later. That round's over. Nifkin, one more light. Alsatian, all cleaned up. Easy peasy. It will be 13-12 on the board. But this is the key round here. In a way, they may well be playing a 5 versus 4 situation with Xenox on 200 ping. I mean, he could still pick up kills, but it's going to be really, really difficult for him to do so. And when it's this close, you don't want to make things more difficult, more kind of high pressure than they already are for that CT side. Full buy coming in from both sides. So Xenox got himself a UMP. He's a little bit demoted onto that one. His money wasn't brilliant, just to kind of top it all off in the end there. Enigma up on the boost, trying to find something just to see if anyone's getting a bit aggressive, but of course no one is at this point in time. Flash going to go in now as a mid control coming in from the T side. Again, no happy to give it over. First kill for Alsatian actually as he finds Oak standing out in mid, and now he's just quite happily going to give up that mid control and go for the sort of Astralis strat where you hold it from the A bomb site, you know, and just sort of look down highway, make sure no one can get aggressive on you.
That's all he needs to do at this point. They have the numbers game, they've got the advantage. They obviously go towards this B bomb site. Down low, shots have come in from Nifkin. He's able to take down one before he does get burned to a crisp. Shots have been fired, and Explorers will take down one more light. And now the smoke in the utility will be used to shut down Alsatian, as they know that that Danger Man will be in a position to cause some damage. Obviously, Matt will back away. He has a teammate right beside him. Interesting position for both of them to be in. Would expect them to be spread out a little further wider. Shots have come in now. Matt not able to find that player up in vent. However, Expertus will find Vegeta. Xenox left trying to push down towards him once again. Expertus will punish him. Oh, Alsatian gets the shots onto Enigma. Gets the shots onto Expertus as well. Matt left all alone in a 1 versus 1. Stun comes in. Shots have been fired. He's going for the quick defuse. Alsatian is able to get him, Matt. Oh, so very close. Alsatian was less than a second away from defusing that, but Matt just being able to react the quickest.
Yeah, it wasn't in the conventional position there either that you would normally expect with that bomb being planted. Alsatian, as you saw, pre-aiming the B main angle, not ready for him to actually be at the other entrance to checkers, and a little bit risky from Matt. Like you say, less than a second remaining on the defuse there, but ultimately they take the round. Bit heartbreaking there. For T-side to lose that clutch, and Alsatian, 2 brilliant shots from him to open it up, just not quite able to secure it in the end. You know, time to check all the angles and whatnot. Very well played in the end by Matt. A lot of damage being done onto Xenox here, as you can see. He's just kind of jumping about a little bit. There's 14-12. Lancaster, if they secure this one, I think it would be a reset onto that CT side economy, and could quite easily take it 16-12, but remains to be seen. T-side might be able to get something done. More damage coming in onto Nifkin, though, really going to make it a lot more difficult. They've got 2 relatively low HP players now as well. So no kits also. They need those initial frags coming in, and it's looking ever difficult to do so. The AWP in the hands of Alsatian needs to go huge this round.
Slow passive push so far. There's just one player outside of Squeaky. That will be the man Alsatian. Does have the AWP, so they're going to want to shut off his lines of sight. Smokes do come in. Enigma gets caught out from behind from Vegeta, and he will find the head of him. Now, here they go, pushing their way onto site. Alsatian will find one, not able to take down a second, as Matt will be the one to shut him down, but Vegeta and Xenox combine to take down 2 players each. Nifkin finds the final player, and T-side still not down and out.
Really good recovery initially. You know, like I said, they took a lot of early damage. Luckily, didn't lose any players, so they were able to set up some pretty good crossfires and each kind of pull their weight in that round, I think. You know, there were a couple players with a couple kills, but ultimately the A defense were able to hold off and make sure that rotations can come in. A 4 spy coming in from Lancaster. Very risky indeed, as it could very easily become a 14 scoreline after this round. They'll try and make their way over towards B. A bit of a fluff nade from Enigma through the window. not accounting for the fact that that actually slows the momentum of the nades. Clearly not a physics student. As he
Go on,
drops
rip
the
him
nades
again.
and No. I'll be kind. They're a hell of a lot better at CS than me. I mean, that's all that kind of counts at the moment in the grand scheme of things. Flashes, nades, and whatnot coming in. Nifkin going to pick up the first. One more light though, whiffing a few shots will get taken down. So B control now and the M4, two M4s rather, secured for this T side. So it's going to be a very difficult retake for T side University. They've got a couple of Molotovs and a couple of kits in the hands of Alsatian and Xenox, but still, it's a difficult task on the edge of the smoke map. Will spot out one, and the final player in Vegeta falls. As Xenox immediately traded back by Oak as well. So 15-13, the force buy coming into fruition for Lancaster. They keep 3 players alive. They got them 3 rifles as well. You know, they couldn't really ask for a better result. 15-13, the economy of the CT side as well going to get reset, only able to get 2 rifles. So we could be seeing a quick 2-0 here, so.
Quite possibly. There's a very good take and hold coming in from Lancaster. It was very unconventional and very risky, but worked out well for them in the end of that round. Now, you see T-side have it all to do, cannot afford to lose this map. Shots have been fired. Vegeta has taken a lot of damage. He's not able to find a kill. I take that back. He takes down Enigma and gets away with his life. Lovely stuff coming in. Oh, the shot from Alsatian rips the head straight off of Tobbs. Now it's 3 versus 5. Shots have been fired though, but Oak will catch out Alsatian unawares as his back was turned. Vegeta getting a little bit more aggressive, but not going to find that player because he's actually gone around the back end towards Squeaky, and is in a very good position to actually have the crossfire set up if Xenox would have stayed on that site.
4-on-3, Terrace side with it all to do at the moment. Possibly take the victory if they're able to secure this round. They are a man down, but still a case to be made here. So they've got that slightly stronger weaponry and a little bit more kind of outnumber potential as the CT defense has split it all across the map. Bit of door shenanigans coming in from Xenox and Matt, I do believe. The Oak, rather, not Matt. Either way, to make their way towards A, it would seem, as the B-bomb site appears clear to Experilis. He's actually able to take down one more light on the tail end of things, and now slightly unsafe movements from the CT side, getting aggressive. Vegeta eventually going to get finished off. Only 8 seconds remaining, though. No CTs in close proximity to deny this plant. Experilis as well going to find Xenox, and now it is all on Nifkin in the 1-on-3 situation. T will get taken down, and a 16-13 victory here on Cash. Again, it would seem a game of CT halves from both of these teams, but unfortunately for T side, they will lose it out 2-0. It will be Lancaster again going through to the grand final. They get that one map advantage as well. They're going to have a hell of a long break before they have to play any more NUEL, but congratulations for them. Not quite over yet for T side, however, as we still do have the consolidation final, which I believe will be taking place next week.
It will be indeed, and it's going to be quite a matchup. I don't think T-side are out of it just yet. I mean, they put in a very good performance for this series. They can really show that they can hang with last season's champions. However, they still have quite a bit to learn in the ways of holding down a site and retaliating back and getting a foothold in the game itself and being able to hold on to it. So that's it for this week, I suppose. Lancaster again taking the win, as we expected before we went live. We did say that we did expect Lancaster to take this one. I thought it was going to be much more one-sided. I'm not going to lie to you. But T-side, making me eat my words quite a bit. I think we'll be seeing them back in the grand finals.
Indeed, I think we might just, as they have really given Lancaster a run for their money here, despite losing. It was very, very close showing indeed. So there definitely is a chance. But it all remains to be seen at this point. We've got Warwick in that lower bracket that could definitely come up for sure. I suppose it all remains to be seen at this moment, because in the lower bracket, they are probably in the process of playing the lowers finals at this point in time. But like I say, it should be, you know, another good showing. Whether it's Warwick that gets through, whether it's Teesside, whether it's another one. You know, there's Southampton, I believe, in there as well. You know, it all remains to be seen at this point whether they are able to get through or not. But anyway, as Chris says, that's going to be it this week from myself, Scriv, and he. As it's been another great night of CS, always a pleasure to cast with you, my friend, and really, really competitive indeed. Lancaster, of course, do take the 2-0, but very, very close showing on those two maps that they eventually came out to win. So Teesside looking good, and Lancaster, like you say, have definitely got some stuff to pick up on and improve before going into the grand final, which will, of course, I believe the date's to be confirmed at this point. But you know, the NUEL Live, there was an announcement made. It is happening for this season. Anyway, that's going to be it from us. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. If you've been here since the beginning, a huge shout out as well to Dr. Pie. We've also got Synonym for Tree, some of you might know, is a new admin on board helping out with CSGO. He played rather, for the Manchester side. And of course, Lee has been with us this evening doing the production side of things. So absolutely brilliant. Thanks very much for joining us, guys. And we will catch you next week, same time, consolidation final. See you later.